Yes, people, big up to all of you. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show, specifically Chelsea Transfer Watch. We'll talk about Amadou Onana, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Romelu Lukaku, Koulibaly, and other players. And chances are, as the show progresses, all the news will emerge, and we will take our time to, if we have time enough, we'll take our time to look at them. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all for finding the time to join the show. We need Caicedo, we need Onana. I want Andre Onana. Okay, I heard that. Why should Havertz go? I don't know. I cannot answer that question. And then FC, nice to see you. Thank you. Kip Mount, I saw Lobster Streak. Do those players you're mentioning, do they want to stay? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Chelsea is no longer a serious club. There is so much uncertainties. Everything just reeks of mediocrity. Well, if you have every right to see it like that, I think I see it different. I think the future is bright. We're going through quite a lot right now. I agree, and probably will take quite a lot to fix the problems we have right now. But nice to see you. More importantly, Adebayo, Marco, nice to see you, brother. And Jacob Hoggins, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. The farm is back up by God's grace. Hello. All the way from in Botswana. Nice to see you, Jeff the Sequel. It's been a while. Love your content always. I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate you taking the time to say that. Schedule is out. A big opening day. We'll talk about that in a bit. And this is the much anticipated season opener, Chelsea versus Liverpool. A perfect way for Chelsea to kick off the season of facing a formidable opponent. That will tell us how important it will be to be strategic in the market and bring in the players we want to sign as soon as possible, if it is possible anyway. We need to start well. If we falter, it may be difficult to come back from it. The high-profile nature of the game will ignite our players' competitive spirit. From the very start, doubts surrounding Pochettino will fade as Chelsea fearlessly goes head-to-head with Liverpool. That may well be the case. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're 24 likes. Remember, every day now, our target is 300. Has been 300, but we've been averaging 110 per day, and that's good. Liverpool match at the Bridge too. Yeah, that's good. Get your fireworks ready for the Liverpool hotel. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Chelsea will be determined to secure a victory. Get ready for an accelerating clash. Let's see how that comes. Let's see how it ends on the day. When are we starting, man? We're starting already. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go along on 13th of August, 4:30 p.m. UK time. It's that time. Yep. An intriguing fact to consider: Pochettino's previous encounter with Liverpool was in the 2019 UEFA Champions League final, where Liverpool emerged victorious with a 2-0 scoreline Pochettino faced several challenges. Okay. Hi, nothing on the screen of fixtures are now through. Okay, I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Why are we looking at Evertonian mid? Because the rumors are that we're looking at him. Starting with an injured Kane and a comparatively less formidable squad. Liverpool earned an early penalty in the first. Poch's journey with Chelsea begins with a chance to rewrite history. I think that's what it is. I don't need another Ross Barkley on our hands. Why do you think it's another Ross Barkley? Because he plays for Everton? Is that what your problem is? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Big up to you to Chelsea all the way. I hope you're doing well. Onana should be a bonus after signing Caicedo and Paulinho. We're not sure what the club are going to do. I think everything comes down to how much we're able to spend. Big up to you to the beautiful game. Always nice to see you, brother. City have entered the race for Rice. Wow, I didn't know that. So probably, so what they did with Calvin Phillips was just waste money, because I'm sure they signed him as a DM. I want to see the uproar now that the proper Chelsea international talent wants to leave. I'm not going to get into that. Honestly, I'm not going to go into talking about why anybody wants to leave or not. It's their freaking business. It's not my business. As of now, not seeing any anger. If this was a certain other players, as some will call for Third World War. Here's the thing. I don't care what those players do. I have my arguments. I don't usually get into whether player is proper choice or not. First of all, it's business for all parties involved. And if they feel like they do better somewhere else, or there's some other club will pay them better, then yeah, let them leave. That's how I see it. I'm not into that argument of who's proper choice or not. If something drastic doesn't happen as regards to our transfers, Liverpool are far more settled. Oh yeah, you don't need scientists to tell you that. And organized than us, we will be trashed by Liverpool. You have every right to think that will be the case, but anything can happen. Coach, I'm surprised that the Premier League have been kind to us. We have a semi-easy start, a great December, and an easy run overall. We'll look at it together in a bit. Everton players are overrated, in my opinion. And look at Lukaku now. You can say Lukaku was a man. You could call him a Manchester, but going by your logic, we should be calling Lukaku a Manchester United player too, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Chesky, nice to see you. Sonny Igbeans, good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon to you too. I hope you're doing well. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 27 likes, but I know quite well we can do better than that. I appreciate you all. Let's get into it. Let's get into it without wasting much of your time. Just give me a few seconds here. I need to share the link with the panelists here so that they can join if they have time. All right, there you go. We'll move on. There isn't too many transfers to talk about before bringing people on. I think there are a few, but it's not something that you ask questions. It's not complicated. Probably some of them, we've talked about them severally. Coach, Chelsea really feeling like a circus right now. You don't know what to expect. We have issues, but I don't really. Here's the thing. That's me. We all see things from different lenses. We have issues, but I don't say that's a circuit. I know. I think we should be able to sort out the issues we have by being strategic in the market and also signing the right players. That's how I say it. Not going to allow any Lukaku slander. Okay, you go ahead. Yeah, if you see anybody slander Lukaku, you slug it out with the person there. Havertz prefers to go to City than Arsenal. I haven't heard that. If we get many clubs that are interested in signing Kai Havertz, that's going to be some good news for us. So let's get into looking at what we have here. Here's Chelsea's. The schedule is out. We first will play Liverpool at home on August 13th, followed by West Ham away on August 19th, followed by Luton Town. Is that a Premier League game? Luton Town, okay, they got promoted. Yeah. Then August 26th, and August, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Then September 2, we play Nottingham Forest at home. And September 16th, that's the 5th game. The first 5 games, we play Bournemouth away. You can say, yeah, like Beautiful Game said, it's a semi. You can say, let me see what he called it. I'm surprised that the Premier League have been kind to us. We have a semi-easy. You can say semi-easy. You could call it easy, actually, because you could say the most difficult here is a Liverpool game. Or maybe the biggest issue is that every other team here, they're settled and we're not. We're still trying. Should I say, find our feet? We still have lots of new players, and probably we'll sign about at least 3 new players at this window. So that's on its own. It's a problem because we don't have a unit yet. But let's see how well Pochettino does in terms of bringing us together. So if you're in the chat and anything else beyond the last comment I'm looking at, I'm not going to be going back and forth comments. It's not that makes it very, very difficult for me. Switching between topics can be very, very exhausting. But if we keep the topics aligned, it will work. So looking at the first 5 games here, at home against Liverpool, away against West Ham United, at home against Luton Town, away against Nottingham Forest, at home against Bournemouth. Your thoughts? Which of these games do you think will win? If you want to talk about just the Liverpool game, you go ahead. What you think the outcome will be and why you think that's the case. Havertz prefers to go to City. I've seen that. Easy games until mid-October, you think? And then you can say we're lucky. But those games will serve as preseason for us. But they are not that tough. That by the time we get to October, probably will be properly, you can say, situated in the table and won't have a problem. The rest of the season probably will be ready to face. We'll be playing as a unit by the time we get to October. But let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Will someone take our RSC off our books? He was so preferred by Potter, and our managers said that they always started him over Kovacic. That spoiled Kovacic's motivation, honestly. Now we'll see who has more suitors. I think that's just your theory. Kova at the time wasn't fully fit. Maybe we were being lied to at the time. We needed to hit the ground running. Newcastle got top 4. They started well. Yep, I think I agree with that argument there. We need to hit the ground running. Otherwise, it'd be difficult to find our feet, which means we'll have to be strategic in the market. Because if we go into the season with just the players we had in the past season, I think we'll have a serious problem. That's what the preseason is for. I keep dropping the likes on the stream. Right now, we're talking about the schedule. So anything else, I'm going to make one more exception here, but I'm not going to be going back and forth topics, please. I've said that again. And this is the last time I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to be going back and forth topic. It doesn't help the show, and it can be exhausting. As much as I like to interact with you, I disagree with their both statement. Chelsea will be trashed by Liverpool. It is worth noting. It was worth noting that during Pochettino's tenure at Tottenham, they were never subjected to a trashing by Liverpool. Okay, but that's no guarantee. It cannot happen. So yeah, let's. Last season showed that there are no easy games. Come August, if we are not in line, it will be 5 hours in a row. We have to be prepared. Failure to prepare is planning to fail. Failure to plan is planning to fail. In fact, Pochettino achieved 3 victories against our club. Okay, I'm not here to get into that argument. And if you're responding to what somebody said, please precede your comment by mention with the name of the person, if that makes sense. It's okay. Disconcerting how some individuals make assertions without conducting proper research. Like I said, I get it. You're right that he hasn't. Liverpool has never trashed his team, but that's a first for everything. So the person that made that statement is entitled to their comment. Okay, we're not talking about the Havertz now, but I'm just going to highlight this and try to get it later. I don't want to be going back and forth topic. It can be exhausting. That's a really good schedule, coach. Easy teams up from the get-go. Players and team all working together and building chemistry. I think that will help us. That will go a long way. Had it not been the issues we have right now, my argument at the start of every season has always been, if we don't play those teams now, we have to play them sometime in the season. So, but right now, I'm grateful for that. For you can say the first 5 games we'll have to play. I think it will be helpful for us. Not too difficult, semi-difficult, but not, you can say, difficult in the sense that the 5 teams are all settled. Liverpool, I get it, they'll be signing plenty, about at least 4 or 5 players. I'm not too sure, but even at that, you can say they're more settled than they're settled than we're not. We have lots of issues. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. There are easy games. If we get the signings are done early and the preseason started with them all available, we'd do better. Is that what you think? Okay, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go a long way. Let's keep it going, people. And please, let's keep the comments aligned. I do not want a situation anybody will start complaining that I'm skipping their comments. It's exhausting to be switching between topics because it's the brain that processes every information you start reading, and if you go from one to another like this every 2 seconds, it can be exhausting. So, but I'm not going to do that again, and let this be a notice to everyone in the chat and who's paying attention. And please also, if you're watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. Your contributions do go a long way. When I mentioned that asking 80 million from Saudis was not a smart move from Lukaku, it was because it showed a disrespect, and indeed, Saudis walked away. I wouldn't say it showed disrespect. It's business for all parties involved. If you're asking too much, and I feel like I cannot pay you what you're asking, I'll just walk away. It's nothing personal there. We're not fighting. A real walk from Saudis. I hope you see the logic now. No, that logic doesn't justify the language that was used. That was used on the day. If you get my point, the language was the issue. I don't have you making. You made a good argument, but the language used you can be seen differently by different people. Can we change the schedule? No, we cannot. We have to face it as it is. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Chelsea all the way. Always nice to see you, and I appreciate you all that are watching for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat. You people provide great value to the channel also, and we do appreciate you. But we want you to do us one more favor, one tiny bitty favor. Please take a second, drop a like on the stream for us. The likes do go a long way. We'd really appreciate that. The beautiful game. When's the last time Liverpool beat us in 90 minutes and without an assist from the ref? I'm not too concerned. I think sometimes in football, patterns are usually hard, very difficult to break. It took, you can say, a very poor side in our team to lose against Manchester United, but for the past few games, it's been draws, either 0-0 draws or 1-1 draw, 2-2 draw, and all that. But if we can prepare well, I'm not too concerned, except if the ref isn't, you can say, the sides, they want to help them beat us again, like you just mentioned. So, you made a good argument there. The game against Liverpool will really test us. Hopefully, we'll be ready before then. So, your thoughts, which of the first 5 games do you think would win, and why do you think that will be the case? How much were the Saudis offering? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now until we get to that particular topic. Coach, the caffeine rush is kicking in with my 3rd cup of coffee. Don't drink too much. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. I like, okay, we get to talk that. Thomas Bear, please post this comment when we start talking about Amadou Onana. You've been here a long time, and you've heard me severally on occasions complaining that switching between topics like this can be exhausting, and I want us to learn not to do that. Let's stick with the topic. We're talking about the schedule right now. I'm a human being. I'm not a machine, a computer. I cannot be switching between topics like that. Otherwise, I'll get tired easily. So let me see if I can highlight it. Let me highlight it in case if you don't put it back on when we get to talk about that. Chelsea versus Liverpool is at Stamford Bridge too. It is, by the way, but that's no guarantee. But let's see what happens. That's no guarantee we'll beat them. Hopefully, we'll be ready by then and make some good signing that would join us when the season starts. I really admire the way you restructured the show with a seamless flow, emphasizing the specific topics for in-depth discussion. It keeps the broadcast engaging and informative. I appreciate you taking the time to say that. More importantly, it shows that I don't get exhausted by the time we get to the middle of the show. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Let's keep the topics aligned. And if you're using a browser, a Chrome browser, you can be clicking on the heart icon. You see the heart icon there. You see the 100 icon. You see the shock emoji. You see the smiling emoji. Then you see this one here. Keep clicking on them. They do go a long way. And for the poll up there asking, should Chelsea sign Amadou Onana? 52% said nah, he's not Chelsea level, and 48% says yes, he is a good player. Here's the thing about this sort of one thing that's very common with Chelsea players. If the scouting department do a good scouting work and sign a certain player, usually we don't like that because probably they've not been exposed that much in Europe, or we haven't seen them playing that much, that we just feel like they're not good enough. I think Onana is a good player, and I think he'll do well if he comes to us. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, and from now on, I'm going to skip your comment if it's not aligned with the current topic. I can't be doing that. It would just exhaust me. Let's see what the zombie fanatic says. He says, wow, you guys have a really difficult fixture straight off the bat. Not that difficult. You can say the two difficult games that here I would say on paper, you can say West Ham and Liverpool are the two most difficult there. But other four, 1, 2, the rest from the first 5 games, you can say are easy games to win. Nottingham Forest, Luton Town, Bournemouth, those are easy games. And believe me, I get it on paper. It's easy to say that Liverpool will mop the floor for us with us, but chances are we beat them. Chances are we win the first 5 games. You don't know. It's not done until after 90 minutes, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Again, if you're just joining us, people, the likes will go along. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yes, keep the comments aligned, people. Keep the comments aligned. Okay, comments for later. The Winter Suffer made a very good point about Lukaku rejecting 20 million. He still has some years left at the top, unlike Kante and Benzema. You're asking him to end his career early. That's cheap. Yeah. So if you add something to it, so I'll highlight this one, and we'll talk it when we get to speak about Lukaku. So, but I appreciate you adding it earlier on the show. DJ, big up to you, brother. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well.
Hey, big up, Kajita. Big up to you. I hope you. I'm well, bro. I hope you're keeping well. Big up to everyone in the comments as well.
Finding the time to join. What do you make of the schedule? Do you think? How do you see it? Which of these games do you think would win?
Listen, we're not. I'll be honest with you, Kajita. If we played the only way we played towards the end of this season, going on to the new season, it depends on the signings we bring in. Obviously, you expect us to be strong at home for any of our home fixtures. Liverpool's going to be a tough game, regardless. Whatever team we strengthen with, they're still going to be a tough team. I do expect us to beat Luton. Probably get a draw, Chelsea versus Liverpool, first game of the season. Even though I'd love to see us beat them. Bournemouth, Chelsea, again, that's going to be a tough one. But again, I expect us to try and get some points there as well. But again, it depends on the players we bring in, Kuchula, and how much they've played into this, and how much they start learning the Poch way of playing football. We're never going to know that until we see them in pre-season, to be honest with you.
How about the West Ham game? Have you said anything? What do you think happens in that one?
West Ham always give us a tough game. Let's be honest with you. And I know they're going to be selling a few players, but they'll probably end up playing us without Declan Rice. But you just know they're going to strengthen their team as well. That's going to be another game. Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, again, they did give us a tough. I think they played us. I think both games we played them, they gave us a tough time as well. But let's see again. But these are the games you expect us to go and win. I mean, if I was to sit to you right now and say a Chelsea team, if I had all trust in my team, I probably would say draw, win. Yeah. But the way things are, the way we finished off last season, it depends on what players are coming in and how they're playing the Poch way of playing. But I always believe in my team to win. But I've also, you've also got to see, as I said, you've also got to see the plays that each of these teams are stringing. Let's be honest, Aston Villa are making some good signings as well, so that's going to be another tough game, but generally you would say that's a Chelsea win. So again, I'd always back my team, but yeah, I mean, you'll have to just wait.
So you think it will draw against? You think we'll go the game against the home game against Liverpool will be a draw, and the away game against West Ham United will be a draw?
Yeah, I think those two could possibly. Again, it depends on what form of each team, though, Kachila. As I say, I'm only giving rough guesses. I'd like to say I'd go and say Chelsea win. Yeah, as I always would back my team. But let's be honest. As I said, Liverpool and West Ham will be tough games. Let's not kid ourselves, because they always give us a tough time every time we play them. Whether they're playing home or away against any of those teams, they give us a tough time.
Yeah, if you're in the chat, we're saying that we're going to be very strict with the rules this time. Let the topics be aligned. If you put a comment that's not aligned with the current topic, I will skip it. But I think I haven't told Adeba and Makunjo, I haven't told you that, so I'm going to read one of your comments. But please let the topics be aligned. And Ryan Winter said, Coach, I am calling it here, mate. We are going to win the first 8 games straight. You heard it here first. Onana to keep a 5 clean sheets in that game. And do you think we'll be able? I think we'll pull out from that there. I don't think we're looking to sign him. The talks are that Pochettino, he's comfortable going into the coming season with Mendy as his first choice, Keparis Obalaga as his first choice goalkeeper. We need to also sign established players too much young players further exacerbate the uncertainties surrounding our club. That's following your initial comments. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. When it comes to the reality of football, every team is set to play 38 games throughout the year. It's natural that every team will experience a periods of challenging in relatively easier fixtures. Here's the thing: the reason I'm happy with this. Usually, I'm not the one to say I prefer this first 5 games than the other one. But this is good for us, given that we're not settled yet. I'm taking this, and I think we're quite lucky, really, if we're being honest here. This Kron, Tune, so to speak. Tune, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. None of the fixes are easier for us. Newly promoted teams do well at the start. West Ham could be easier than others. West Ham are settled. If they lose players, if they lose in only Declan Rice, except if it's that important to them that his absence will be problematic for them, they find it difficult to replace him, given that he leads that team. He's led them quite well also. Until we have a scorer, all fixes are struggle. Wow, that's a solid argument too. Chelsea says Bournemouth versus Chelsea. Usually, I don't know how well have we actually done. Let me see. Bournemouth versus Chelsea. How well have we done against them of late? Probably not going to see anything with regards to that. Okay, let me see. Let me go to Bournemouth first. I will come back to that to see. Maybe we'll check that. Bournemouth, I think we'll find it difficult to actually play against them. I think so. But let's see. And you do realize that we went through 3 managers last season, right? Yeah. So that's a point worth noting, really, if we're being honest. I will be able to assess the schedule. I will be able to assess the schedule until I see who we get this summer. If I see Caicedo, Paulinho, and a good goal scorer, then I will have an opinion until then. But let's say we're able to get them. What do you think happens? If you understand my question, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Pochettino visit Tottenham on 4th October. So yeah, that one will be an interesting game to watch. Let's see that we need to win that one, even if we've lost all other games before that time. Let's be realistic. It will take 20. Okay, I will take 20 points from the first 8 games. Okay, let's see what happens. But you never know. You never know. If we're strategic in the market, we may well bring in players that will help us start cooking immediately. Clubs with the European games will only have harder fixtures and never easier. That's the truth. Coach, we cannot complain about the fixtures. Liverpool will show us as a start if we need to improve. Unfortunately, the window is still open after the first fixture. Yeah, that's the truth. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. So you can say the Liverpool fixture is a real test. So I appreciate that coming there. I enjoyed the analysis with the panelists, but I disagree with drawing any conclusions from the previous season with Poch at the helm and the preseason to work with the trained squad and new signings. Okay, let's see what happens. I believe there's little correlation between the past season and what lies ahead for Chelsea. Caution cannot be attributed solely to the last season for our upcoming campaign. You have the right to that argument. My birthday wish, which is tomorrow, is to buy a striker that is reliable to score for Osimhen. Like Osimhen, okay, remind us of your birthday tomorrow. We'll do something for you that here on the show tomorrow. Big up to you, to Tobago, DJ, and everyone on the chat. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, people. I appreciate you saying that, brother. And please click the 3 dots to his name, to Tobago's name. Be sure to go subscribe to his channel. And Tobago, please do share the link to your channel when you get a chance. We should have confidence, guys, early in the schedule because we will have a healthy Reece James and Chilwell back. Those teams that won't break Chilwell. Colwill, Fofana, and James too. So much class there. Okay, let's see what happens. Jerry, the Aston Villa home match will be a good time to consider how our squad is doing. In my opinion, they have a run through our midfield repeatedly. So you want to see a rematch there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We're at 41 likes. Let's keep it going. If we get the ideal player, we should be able to win at least 6 out of the first 8 games. Let's see. Big up to you, Bobby. More importantly, I hope you're recovering well. We should have been praying for you, brother. Pochettino has 3 weeks to get rid of players he should not bring to preseason so as to have a proper preparation for a change. Maybe that will help. Constantine Dante! Chip Chilla, he says, big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Coach, what if we slap Liverpool and West Ham and we get gassed and think we're hot, and then the window closes and we plummet down to the table? The players need to maintain the old proper Chelsea mentality. I think we need, I think I get your comment. Tobago shares the link to his channel, The Coolest Chelsea. Please go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. History is a valid predictor of future outcome. If we don't improve on our roster, last season will repeat itself again. No improvement, mediocrity continues. I get that argument strongly. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And yes, people, I appreciate you all adhering to my advice to please keep the comments aligned. That will help me last longer on the show. Because if I keep switching between topics like this, it can be exhausting. As much as I enjoy interacting with you, English Premier League teams can now sign 4 foreign players without them needing work permit. Sky Sports News, Sanchez for pre-season. That's you can say that's a good change. That's a good change because the previous, you can say the rules before, you can say has I'm going to look at it. Let me say. I'm hoping it has been relaxed to an extent that African players are not marginalized, because that has always been the case. Jerry Z says, I am confident that Chelsea will secure a top three finish regardless of how we start or end the season. But yeah, I'd like to see that. First week in July, we are going to sign a player. Yeah, which is a long way to go. Big up, Coach. I feel that until December, we won't have an idea how we will do because most of seasons, we don't do good in the season's half. Wow. Let's see. Don't worry about the schedule burnout. We play 1 game a week only. Yep. We should be playing tough and hard. Not really resting players. We don't have European assignments, so that makes sense. We love you too. Thank you so much for saying that. And Phil, big up to you, Phil. Thank you for joining. Squad improvement isn't always purchasing a player, though. It is the tactics, formation, style of play, development of squad, and a good mentality to stay competitive Mark, big up, nice to see you. Expecting 13 points, just praying. Wow. So, DJ, anything else you want to add before we switch topics?
Nah, it's all good, Kachilla. It's cool. I'm all good.
All right, thank you so much. It looks like you were speaking while you were on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute, though. Sorry about that, brother.
Please, when doing this business, remember to keep some old players with club. Okay, we're still not talking players yet, but I'm going to, because you haven't heard me say that, keep the topics in line so that I don't skip your comments, please. Club experience. Otherwise, Chelsea will regret like last season. Onana is good, but Chelsea need a good midfield to feed us strikers. Portugal turn us to low-level team. Okay, if that's what you think, I don't think if anything happens, I don't think just get him the players he wants. Let's. I think it's about time we switch topics now. Thank you so much for all of you that have found the time to join the show. If you haven't, drop a like on the stream and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Nicholas, good business and can be a good striker. I have assigned him already. You're saying good business. So let's switch it to the next. Okay, this one here, DJ. Inter Milan wanted a discount on new Lukaku loan, but Chelsea told them they didn't want to loan him again. Here's where I'm confused. They've had them. So if you're on the chat, this is the topic now. We're talking about Romelu Lukaku. Please keep the topics in line. Otherwise, I will skip your comment. Now, Lukaku has been on loan at Inter Milan 2 seasons now, right? And in those 2 seasons, we've been paying a large portion of his salary.
Yeah.
They're coming back to us. They want him on a discount again, on loan. They're not even trying to buy him. So are they trying for it to get to an extent where it becomes they get him for 10 million pounds or so? I think they're being disrespectful. I think they're not appreciating the fact that we paid them. We signed him for 100 million plus from Inter Milan. We agreed to send him back on loan to them, and they took him. And we're paying a large portion of his salary, and they're coming back to us asking for a discount. So they knew exactly what we're doing, or maybe they don't want him because they know we're not going to do that. Maybe they don't. They're tired of Lukaku. They just don't want him, and they wanted to say something that will make us say, you know what, we're not doing business with you again. If you're in the chat, I want to get your thoughts. What do you make of this Lukaku? You can say Lukaku situation, DJ.
The joke on Lukaku, mate. It just goes on, doesn't it, Kachilla? I mean, look, this guy. What can I say? I think he turned down. What I understand, he turned down a big offer from is it Al Hilal? Just to say I want to stay and I want to go to Inter Milan. Now, what I find so is they are really taking this for mugs, Inter Milan now, because from my understanding is they have not only asked for Lukaku on loan, but they've also asked for Koulibaly on loan, and then we pay money to get their goalkeeper Onana. Now that for me has got to be probably one of the biggest jokes in football ever. They must think we're right idiots and desperate. And obviously we are, because obviously unfortunately our owners have shown their trump card by saying we need to sell a lot of these players before the end of this month, obviously so we can go and buy other players. But football clubs now are just mugging us out. And Inter Milan, I mean, look, come on, these guys. I mean, if they want him, just pay up, get him back on loan, and just leave it at that. But don't try and con us into saying, we'll be happy to take Lukaku off your hands. In other words, they're doing us a favor. They're going to take Lukaku off our hands, plus take Koulibaly off our hands, thinking that we want to actually loan Koulibaly, which we don't want to do.
That's another part of it.
And then they're saying, then you pay money to get Onana. What a joke is that? I mean, that is just shambolic in itself. Listen, I want Lukaku. Listen, I've said it before. I don't think Lukaku is Chelsea levels. I mean, he showed that in the Champions League final. He actually defended for Manchester City in that final, and he's clumsy. He's clumsy on the ball. Okay, he clearly doesn't want to come back to Chelsea as well. So he's using that as a lever to say, okay, Chelsea will get rid of me in this way. I really hope to God our owners will get rid of him, and he does go, and we can get him. Even if we are to get even 20, 30 million, we make a lot. I'll be happy at that. But to say what Inter Milan, but asking Inter Milan what they're trying to do, I think is absolute nonsense, mate. And I'd say I hope Chelsea don't say yes to that, even though I want him out of the football club. But no, not on what they're asking for. It's like they're doing us a favour. You know what I mean? And so far Chelsea, I think from what I understand, Chelsea have said no to that straight away. And they've obviously saying that you want to you can take him on the loan again, or we sell him to you. But I just think I think I want him off the books, to be honest with you, Kachilla. And I'm not saying we're desperate to get rid of him, but not to the desperate levels that Inter Milan are using, thinking that we are. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just I think he's so freaking selfish. He cares about himself. He doesn't even care that the club is losing money.
No, he doesn't.
Paid him. If you use a calculator to see how many goals he scored for us, and divided by how much we're paying for him, because it doesn't matter what happens, we have to pay Inter the money we owe them.
Yeah,
and this is just so freaking insult. I just couldn't believe it when I read that. And thank you for bringing up the Lukaku, the Koulibaly part of it. They want him on a discount, and they want Koulibaly too on loan.
That's just a joke, isn't it?
What the heck is that? I think we're idiots to them, and I think they've looked at it. They've said no because they probably looked at it and said, "What are these guys thinking? Who did they think we are? How stupid did they think we are?" When we're forced to let Lukaku go on loan there because the relationship, because of the toxic environment then at Chelsea, matters. But yeah, Lukaku himself, I think he will forever be a Chelsea enemy, no matter what happens. Except if he comes back and stays with us this season and scores like 25 goals, I take apologies and goals. And so, let's go.
I would. Would I take apologies? I don't know about that. I think
I'd take apologies and goals because if the honest,
he would be. Yeah, okay,
so that way. We can't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead with what you were saying.
I mean, the other thing of all that comes out of this whole, the funny thing of all that comes out of it all is that they've used in this story that our manager wants to actually work with Lukaku. When did he actually come out and say he wants to work with Lukaku? I've not actually heard him actually come out, Pochettino, since he's been actually revealed as Chelsea manager. We've not even seen him make an interview yet, let alone say he wants to keep Lukaku at the football club for next season. So again, it's all these, what you want to call, I call them, and it's used a lot in these days, brown envelope journalists out there that are trying to say all of a sudden that Pochettino wants to keep Lukaku and work with him for next season. I've not heard Pochettino.
Those are all nonsense.
Yeah, utter nonsense, bro. And there's no way they would have said that because Pochettino's not said a single word in public since he's become Chelsea manager. He's not even done his number. He's not even sat in front of the cameras yet, being introduced as Chelsea manager, and yet he's coming out with comments like that. So I take it with the whole Lukaku situation. Yeah, look, the guy wants out of Chelsea. The fans don't want him at Chelsea. He wants to be gone. Let him go. Let us bring a striker that we want to bring in that's going to come in and score all those goals that we need. And look, I know there's talk today that Lautaro Martinez wants to stay at Inter Milan. Okay, fair enough. The man wants to stay at Inter Milan. Let him stay at Inter Milan. There's other targets we can go for, right? And but we need, as I said, Lukaku needs to get off the books. And I really hope to God.
Inter don't value him anymore.
And they don't. Sorry, go on.
They don't. And the truth remains, if you remember, before the Champions League final. They were calling him at one point a few months ago. They were calling him fat in public, and then towards the Champions League final, they changed their tone. And my argument then was that they need him in that final. They didn't know at the time whether he could be the change. You could say the game changer for them and all that. So they started, saying we'll talk with Chelsea by the time the season ends. All signs lead to me thinking has led me to start believing they don't really need him anymore. They value Martinez more than him. They don't 100%. Care what happens because I don't understand why they'd come to us and be asking for a discount. We still owe them money. We're paying large chunks of his salary. Wow. I think, I wouldn't mind him staying on the bench. I'm actually sending him to train with the academy. So let him figure out himself. At one point, one manager at Chelsea did it to Malouda. Even though Malouda wasn't toxic.
You know what?
Malouda. If he thinks we're idiots, we should bring him back, get him to go train with the academy, and not come closer to the first team. Maybe he does something about his future immediately. But go ahead, what you were saying, DJ.
Do you know what, Kachilla? If you were to ask me right now, I mean, I've never had a thing with Florent Malouda. Yeah, I've always actually rated him as a player. and you ask me to choose between him and Lukaku, I'll choose him any day of the week, even though they don't play in the same position. And the difference between him and Lukaku is Malouda didn't go and do a stupid interview saying he wants to get out of Chelsea. Yeah, he didn't do all these other things of wanting out of Chelsea, like this guy went and done. Right? At least Malouda respected the football club, and he actually done things. I remember him and Didier Drogba setting up goals to Didier. I remember when he used to set up the goals to Drogba, and Drogba was scoring those goals. I don't know if you remember that little thing. And they even started their own little merry band. I don't know if you ever heard about that when it first came out. Him and Drogba started their own little merry band. Okay, so look. At the end of the day, with Lukaku, I don't think for myself, Lukaku. I've always said this, right? I'm not going to lie. When we first bought Lukaku in, I'm not going to. I'll sit here and say it because I've gone on streams and said this. I wanted Lukaku back. He was my first choice when we were looking at him two years ago when we couldn't get Haaland, and there was talking about either Haaland, Lukaku, and Kane. I chose. Obviously, I wanted Haaland over him, right? But then when we knew we couldn't get Haaland, I said, okay, I'll go for Lukaku over Kane because I knew Kane would never come. And I wanted him to come back and prove himself at Chelsea because I always thought there was a player in Chelsea, being a Chelsea fanboy as well. I thought he would come back and prove it. But he's just come back and been the complete opposite. And he's shown once again why we got rid of him the first time round. He's not improved.
Yeah, I was one of those who wanted him. But at one point, I took time to look at the pattern. The pattern, you can say, in terms of the sort of strikers that Thomas Tuchel liked to use, from Mainz to Borussia Dortmund to PSG. And I started questioning, I don't think this guy is the right guy for Mauricio Pochettino. If it was Mourinho, yes, or some other type of manager, but not Pochettino, so to speak. Thomas Tuchel is not known to play with a traditional strikers, and Lukaku is one. And his case is worse because he's not again efficient in terms of dropping deep and participating in the play. He's always his runs are not even dynamic. He's very static in the box. That I'm concerned. That's one of those things I saw early. I saw in this game that I didn't like. But that's why when we move on from him, let's see the opinions of those in the chat so that we can switch a topic immediately. And we're still paying them most of Lukaku's wages, and now they want a further discount. Yeah, that infuriated me when I read that. I was like, what is this? Keep dropping the likes on the thing, coach. Chelsea want the Saudi money. They don't want to deal with that broker, Inter Milan anymore. Yep. So we're just showing Lukaku, look, you're not going back to Inter. So better well give the Saudis a call and tell them you want to join them. Because with them, they'll buy him outright from us. They pay the transfer fee. It's, even if it is 20, 30, 25, 20, 25, 30, I take it. Because it's a losing battle, really. He hasn't helped us by publicly every time stating how he wants us to remain at Inter Milan. That's him, the value. Again, that's him. Just his evaluation takes a hit every time he makes a public comment that means he's not coming back to Chelsea. He hasn't helped us, so he doesn't like us. We shouldn't like him. We shouldn't help him realize what he wants to do, which is to stay at Inter Milan. A good decision not to loan him, buy him, or they should leave. It's as simple as that. I'm sure there are clubs in the Premier League that would take him. I wouldn't even mind giving him to those clubs and be paying the number again. Like, what is this? DJ Constantine, that
big up to Constantine. Big up.
People, the likes will go a long way. It's obvious Inter playing hard to get sell Lukaku to Saudis. And I wouldn't say playing hard to get. They're actually mopping the floor with us. They're calling us idiots. Well, they're cash cow. They're doing whatever they want with us. We bought a product from them and on credit. And now we're saying the product isn't working for us. And they say, you know what, give us the product, we'll use it. Then we give them the product, and still, when we're still paying the monthly payment for the product in question, and they're coming back saying they want a discount. It's infuriating, really. Sell Lukaku to MLS or a club, again, a Saudi Arabian club. He has to agree to leave, though. And for me, I'd say if he doesn't, keep him at the club, send him to go train with the academy. Inter Milan are a joke of a team. 17 million plus Lukaku, Koulibaly for Onana. They are sick. I think they are, because I think you can say because of how we've dealt with them, they feel like, they can do whatever they want whenever we're negotiating, or request whenever they want. Make some ridiculous, not even ridiculous requests. Chun is up the line. Chun, nice to see you as always. Yeah, I love the Umbro shirt. DJ, everybody's loving your shirt. You have to,
thank you very much.
DJ, hide your camera, please.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
Yes, and they got Onana on a free like 8 months ago. Yeah, I think they're greedy. Footstamp FC, I think that's what we should be calling them. All Italian teams and in general are ruthless. They are at business, it's just how they are there. But this one is insulting, really. There are things you don't do. I mean, that's up to you. There we go. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. 20 goals in the Premier League, plus one apology. I take that. I take goals in apology.
I would.
Look, it's nothing personal for me. Right now, we're talking about Inter Milan. My issue isn't with Lukaku. He hasn't helped with his public statements. Big up Coachella and big up DJ. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate you finding time to join. And people, if you haven't subscribed to Max's YouTube channel, you don't know what you're missing. I call him the Chelsea Encyclopedia. Good content. He's a very busy man. But I think it's the transfer window is open, and be rest assured you'll be getting quite a lot of videos from him. So go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I appreciate that, please. Max, please, you can share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. Lukaku flipped 20 goals at Inter, and Everton are way overrated. Look, I think he's a good player. His issues are beyond his abilities, but I don't think he's the best there is. I just had issues what I recognized was gonna be a problem under Thomas Tuchel was that Tuchel don't usually he's not known to play with traditional strikers from Mainz to Borussia Dortmund to PSG. Even when he had Icardi and Cavani, he doesn't look like he trusted them that much, if that makes sense. Facts. Let's see what else we have here. Good afternoon, boss, and bless you more for the good work you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Kinsley Chinweze. Thank you for saying that. Havertz has better stats than Martinez apart. Yeah, I think we've looked at that. I said, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along. But to be honest, Lukaku was a game changer. He did nothing when the club needed him. I am enjoying the energy against Lukaku. It's not how many people have mentioned Lukaku. Our concern, everything we've said mainly is again with point again. Our complaints have all been about the behavior of Inter Milan, not Lukaku himself. This is on Lukaku, but also on Chelsea because they took it too easy on him. Just said yes to all his choices. Needed to be more stronger with him. I think it's time we're ruthless. I agree with you. I can't say that word. Am I that tired? Can someone send Inter a memo saying Chelsea is not a charity club? I think we should do that. I agree with the assessment of Lukaku. In my opinion, Poch prefers a different type of forward. He values hard-working striker and a striker who's able to participate in the play. And Lukaku cannot do that effectively. Contribute consistently, and Lukaku's style does not align with that. And he has to be the main guy. Before you know it, issues will arise again. Let Lukaku train with women's team. I'm sure Megan will enjoy. I'm going to move away from that. I'm not reading that one. How many strikers have flopped at Chelsea? Can you people I'm not getting into that argument with you, Chelsea, all the way. I know you were going to come with that. We're not saying Lukaku flopped. We're talking about discussing something else. Lukaku is too slow to realize that he's washed up and should exit European football. I think I'll take the Beautiful Games argument on that one, where he said his career is not over yet. I think he still has time. He could still go to Saudi in a year or 2 years' time. So maybe he's not in a rush to leave European football. I've always said that Inter Milan loaned him to us on a season, loaned him from us on a season-long loan for 90. Oh, okay. Now let me read it the way you wrote it there. Inter Milan loaned him to us on a season-long loan for £97 million, the most expensive loan deal in history. That sounds about correct. I think that's what it is. Big up to you, the Prince is here. Big up to you, the Prince. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you. Forget training with the academy. He should be forced to walk the local McDonald's drive-thru. Why did I read that? Coach, I finally found a 50th anniversary FA Cup shirt. I'm so happy been looking for years now. Glad you found it. Must be expensive now. If Lukaku wants to stay at Inter Milan, so reduce his wage. Why should Chelsea pay him for no services? Because he's contracted to us, and we want to loan him out. So the obligation of paying his salary or wages that falls on us. If Chelsea are paying him, so don't let him go. Just keep him out of the squad because money is wasting anyway. I will let him stay at Inter Milan for another loan, but cut his wage to 30K. You cannot do that. There's a contract. If you say that, you keep him at the club to work for you. If you decide to send him out on loan and the loaning club cannot afford his salary, you would have to help pay that. So, and if you want to terminate his contract, it will be costly. So if he wants to leave, he has to buy his contract too. So it's not as simple. It's not that as simple as it may sound. It's a complicated issue. Bonfordino says, I will let him stay at Inter Milan for another loan, but cut his wage. Yeah, good luck with that. We want a meeting today. Like you're saying, okay, did you get one of those DJ? Okay, you have DJ. He's asking you a question in the chat. Big up, guys. Thanks for the show. Getting you loud and clear. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's time people begin to look at Chelsea as a club in its entirety. There's a fundamental problem with this club. A lot of issues, and hopefully we'll be able to sort it out. The number 9 shirt is rumored to be cost at Chelsea, and it's believable given how number 9s have struggled at the club. Coach, do you think I can't even pronounce it.
Romelu
Soros. I'm not okay. I'm sorry.
I know what he means, but
move like these under Roman. I think by now Roman would have just cut him off. Lukaku has the right, or may have fired 2 managers for his sake. That's how Roman operates. If Roman spends that much on a player, it takes 2 managers gone before he decides to, you know what, it's the player's fault. Lukaku has the right to choose what he wants. Oh yeah, nobody's questioning that. But we're questioning Inter's the reason again. What makes Inter think that they could come back to us and say, yeah, we want him on loan again, but we want a discount. Again, considering the fact that we're paying a large chunk of his salary, it just doesn't make sense. We're not questioning whether he has the right to choose what he does. We also beat Højlund. Did we beat for Højlund? Okay, that's a United man talking. Brother Boy Bali will always allow it with Lukaku. I don't think so. I think already they've shown they're not ready to allow that. They're saying you can't take him on loan, and we're not giving you Koulibaly on loan. With Madrid and United backing out for Harry Kane, Harry Kane's signature, surely a window has opened up for Kane to Chelsea. It's not possible. But you're allowed to dream. But just remember, I've told you that's not going to happen. I don't see that happen. Yes, we switch topics now. I appreciate your contributions in the chat. But more importantly, I want to say thank you to all of you for adhering to my advice to keep the topics aligned, because it can be exhausting to be switching between topics. Let's go. The next topic. What do we have lined up here? Chelsea have no intention to pay 80 million or something crazy like this or like that for Andre Onana. I agree, that's too expensive. We have other areas of priority. I wouldn't mind us spending, you can say not spending in the goalkeeping area and taking our time to maybe find a cheaper option, if that makes sense. One more, Bellingham signed for Real Madrid already. Oh, we knew that. Lukaku doesn't have the right to choose what he wants as he's on the contract. Yeah, and, he has to abide by the route again, by the terms of the contract, first of all. But I think Chelsea all the way was again. I think he's talking about in terms of his preferred destination. If we decide to sell him to any club, but that's by the way, DJ. If you're there, what
yes,
are you not willing to pay 80 million for any goalkeeper or Andre Onana or even Mike Mignon? I think I agree with that. That would be too expensive.
No, I'm totally agreement with you, Caicedo, on that one. I think that's way over the odds for those guys. As much as they're good goalkeepers, and I rate them both, by the way. either one of them I'd love to see come to Chelsea, but not for that kind of money, mate. I think we're talking crazy money now, aren't we? I think we did that. I think we set that in stone. We spent all that big money on Kepa, and ever since we signed Kepa for that price that we signed him for, 70 odd whatever it was million we got him for. Now people are thinking, all goalkeepers can, if Kepa can go at this price, and this goalkeeper can go at this price. We don't want to make the same mistake, even though we know Onana and Mendy are very good goalkeepers, and I would take either one of them at Chelsea. We also know the AC Milan goalkeeper doesn't want Chelsea. Onana is the number one choice. But I'm also obviously, if we can get him in, fantastic. But do a deal where it'll fix both clubs, not what Inter Milan want. And I guess Inter Milan can say they want that because he's under contract. But they're throwing all these rules at us about what plays they want, and then we have to still spend money on us. So why can't we do the same thing and say, you want him, then no, we'll give you a swap deal with whatever, and then we'll bring Onana as part of that deal, or pay some of that money, but not for the money they're asking for. No way, not 60 million.
Yeah, it's too much. Even 70 is too much. Even 60, I think,
crazy.
A bit too much. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Kepa is fine, and Kepa will also be our captain next season. The striker and the CDM and sell the traitors. Here's the thing, I'm still going to say this. I know we all say things are from different lenses. Kepa is a good goalkeeper. Do I think we can do better than Kepa and Sapalaga? Yes, but I don't think we should go in the market, go spend, you can say £100 million or even £17 million on a goalkeeper. I think it would be a huge risk. And it's always a mutual agreement with club and player. Yep, I agree. But I think the player preferred destination usually, you can say, trumps the club's. You can say it trumps the club's decision in terms of where he goes, if that makes sense. Sometimes it can create a lot of friction between the club and the player. But we move on from that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Lukaku is so strong under Pochettino. He might do better. Let's see what the manager does. One final item with regards to Lukaku. Lukaku will be the highest paid player working from home. The only grass he'd see is the grass in his garden. The only stats he's achieved would be distance covered between his living room and the fridge. Keep dropping the likes. What do you make of the report that we're not interested in paying 80 million for a goalkeeper? I think I like that. Emi Martinez selling price is 16 million. Why not go for him? 16 million is not bad, but I think Emi Martinez's ability on the ball is suspect for me. I like him. I like his attitude as a player. That's something we've lacked in Chelsea players for a while now. But the truth remains, if you're looking at the incoming manager, a goalkeeper's distribution and ability on the ball, those two factors should be considered properly. And I'm not too sure about his ability on the ball. Onana would have been a perfect addition to our squad, but if they're asking for 80, we shouldn't pay that for him. But let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Good morning, Coach. My name is Mark James. I'm following you guys live from Liberia this afternoon. Mark James, thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope the people of Liberia are good. Did you see they raised the price on Onana from 35 to 80 million? Then they should keep him. Why should Chelsea pay such an amount for Onana? He doesn't deserve to be paid such money. Assuming he's as good as they claim. Everton season should have been like that. Okay, I think you're mixing it up. This is? I think this is Andre Onana. This is not Amadou Onana. Intention to pay or something crazy like this for Onana. Yeah, this is Andre Onana. This is not Amadou Onana, I'm sure. I'm sure I'm not mixing that one up. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We should look to sign a goalkeeper on the cheap or on the free. Why is the goalkeeper so expensive all of a sudden? The sort of goalkeepers we're looking for are very expensive. You know that quite well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Let's see what else we have here that I haven't looked at. But big up to you, all sports fan Adam. Always nice to see you. Before spending massive dollars on a goalkeeper, when will Slonina be ready to be a starter? I don't know. It's up to goalkeeper trainers, coaches to find out. Goalkeeping trainers to find out. What are we paying our scouting team for. Surely there are gems out there we could have, but we don't know them. It takes a lot of scouting to find them, and do we have the luxury now to wait for the scouter to do that? I don't know. There are other good goalkeepers, but Onana, he's an exceptional goalkeeper. More importantly, given his ability on the ball, he fits well into Mauricio Pochettino's preferred approach to football. But let's see what happens, Coach. We cannot have Kepa in goal against Diaz, McAllister, Salah, and Gakpo. We cannot hold the 7, Coach. We cannot hold 7, Coach. That would put us at bottom of the league. Okay, let's see. Lukaku is a scammer. Okay, we've moved on beyond Lukaku. We're talking about Onana now, but Logan loves to see you. If they keep him out of the squad for half season, he has to accept a permanent move out. But ignore the Italian teams; they are all scammers. Okay, keep the topics aligned, please. I have a question. Why we've given up on Mendy? Just one bad season. He was the hottest keeper in the world in 2021. I don't get it. This is not about giving up on Mendy. This is about Mendy putting pen to paper for a new contract, and it is not my business why he hasn't. He's refused to put pen to paper for a new contract. Maybe they offered him. They had the offer they had on the table for him wasn't good enough to him. So I'm looking beyond that. It's not my business. I haven't given up on Mendy. I'm sure, and I've said this severally, Mendy is actually well equipped to do better than Kepa Arrizabalaga. But unfortunately, it looks like it's not working for him at Chelsea anymore. Maybe he needs a fresh start. Plus, he's refused to sign a new contract. And maybe if he goes somewhere else, he'd be earning more. So I want to move on from that. Nobody's giving up on him. Why is nobody talking about the 113 financial charges on Man City? Are the dodgy deals working behind the scenes? I don't know, and I'm not sure what to make of that. We're here to talk about Chelsea. But yeah, we haven't heard about it, so they're probably still in court. They're rich enough to have as many as lawyers they want. So let's see. Chelsea need a strong goalkeeper like Mayo of AC Milan. Kepa his shot needs somebody who may hang to the corner post. I'm not sure what to make of that. Coach Onana is a good goalkeeper, but the amount is too much. I feel the same too. Inter is just being ridiculous, honestly. They want loans with discounts, yet a price Onana 80 million. They don't have the money, really. They don't have the luxury to be spending that much, if I have to be honest with you. A lot of people, Mesola, good morning, Coach. Gentlemen on the panel, same to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. This says Onana for what? When the Croatian national goalkeeper is available, and so is Mesler of Leeds United. Oh, I don't want the Leeds United goalkeeper. I think we'll start seeing people come. You can say presenting the same compliment they're presenting right now with regards to Kepa not being the tallest. How tall is the Leeds goalkeeper actually? And he said in public that he's not willing to come to Chelsea to sit on the bench. He feels like he's the best goalkeeper in the world. And actually, for me, in my opinion, I don't think it's good enough for Chelsea. A fresh start. It can also be under the magnificent Pochettino. I think so too. Mesler from Leeds United. Yeah, I don't like him. I don't think he's a good goalkeeper. Mendy is good, but full of injuries. No, Mendy isn't full of injuries. I think other issues, the contract situation, plus Mendy's Senegalese international, and would want to be the number one goalkeeper and not sit on the bench and be a second choice to anybody. If that makes sense, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We'll move on from that one. Let's see what else we have lined up here to talk. We have 55 likes. We should be doing better than that. If we're going to get 300 likes, we should be at 150 likes right now. But let's take a look at the next. We've looked at this one, so no need to go through it again. Let's go to this one. Breaking news, Arsenal willing to pay 60 million all in for Havertz. Personal terms will be over 200K a week. That brings to mind how much they're willing to pay him weekly is something that I've always known will be a problem for us, because I think our wage structure could be an issue for us. But, Arsenal paying him well over 200,000 £1,000 a week. That's shocking, really. And are willing to pay 60 million. I would take it, but I don't think they're willing to pay 60 million. I think this report, no, I don't believe it. And if you're in the chat, do you believe that Arsenal, that they're willing to pay 60 million for Kai Havertz? Then he'd be sold right now. He'd be sold immediately, because Kai at this point, he isn't worth a 70 plus. If you say so, if Arsenal are truly willing to pay 60 million plus, you can say 60 million plus add-ins, that's close to 70. I think he'd be sold by now. So I don't think they're willing to pay this much money. I think it's all nonsense. Let's see what else we have here before I bring in the panelists. The game versus Liverpool will come down to the battle of the mid-table. Okay, let's see. Right now, we're talking about Kai Havertz to Arsenal. What you make of the rumors you're looking at on the screen. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. And I do not believe that. The same Premier League, we're going overboard in the celebration of the City treble. So we'll all know what the outcome of those 115 charges will be. Money really does talk. And they have quite a lot of lawyers to throw at the case. And yeah, it will take years. We knew it's not something that will end quickly. But I think they may well still deal with them, because all the clubs will be asking questions. They will pay some measure of, they will face some measure of punishment. As much as I want Kepa to leave, but if the solution is Mesla, then Kepa all the way. I don't know, actually, him coming out publicly saying he doesn't want to come to Chelsea to sit on the bench. We don't want him either. 16 million pounds for Havertz, and throw in a free set of stakes, knives, and pay for the plane flight. Well, across London, or maybe go drop him off there for free. But Real offered 16 million, and we rejected. No, they didn't. They were not willing to pay up to 60. And as much as I want Kai to stay, if in fact he wants to join Arsenal, if in fact he's told the club he wants to leave, 60 is good enough for me. And J5 has been encouraging Kai to join. Okay, let's see. I still believe we will need the chance to sign Postecoglou, but I will back Pochettino for you, Coachella, and I will apologize if he proves me wrong. I hope he proves you wrong. But right now we're talking about Kai Havertz. We're learning to stick to keep the topics aligned, because switching between topics can be very exhausting. As much as I like to interact with you, Tapiwa, Tinaro, nice to see you. Better to liquidate once and for all for a better goalkeeper, because Kepa will cost us a lot. Okay, there must not be any room for experiment, and get rid of Wesley Fofana. He's a slow, error-prone kind of player. Wow. Okay, right now we're talking about goalkeepers. We're talking about who? We're talking about Kai Havertz, so to speak. So DJ, your thoughts on the situation? I know you like him. I know you want him to stay, but if in fact he's told the club that he wants to leave, we should just let him go. I don't want to keep any player that wants to leave. And I also heard that he's not going to push to leave, which is good. But at the same time, now's the time to get a sizable fee from his sale. But what do you make of the situation that Arsenal are willing to pay 60? I don't believe that any second. He'd be sold by now if that's the case. But you go ahead, DJ.
Now, listen, I've got to be careful what I say here, because I don't want to upset the Chelsea way here, because he seems I had all this energy for Lukaku. What's my energy for Kai Havertz? Now, my energy for Kai Havertz is simple. Yes, he hasn't been that great this season. I'll admit that. Him, the whole team haven't been that great this season. But if you actually look back on, you got the real question here has to be is why is Kai Havertz actually wanting to leave Chelsea if this is the case? No one's really looking at the ins and the outs of it all now. Yeah, I can think of a couple of reasons why he wants to go. First of all, he feels he's not being appreciated by Chelsea. Okay, some of the fans out there clearly don't appreciate him, because they just have to hear what they have to say in some of their matches, hearing some of them giving him all the rubbish that he gets. Okay. Thirdly, you see it on some of these platforms wanting Havertz gone. From my understanding, what I'm understanding of it is when at the end of the season, I don't know how true this may be, but what I've been told, what I've heard is Kai Havertz had a sit down with the owners, and what happened was they wanted him to take a pay cut in his wages because of the season that Chelsea had, and he refused to do that. With 2 years left on his contract, he refused to do that because he's thinking to himself, "Why should I leave?
So
why
you're
should I have
saying
a
they want him to take a pay cut?
They want him to take a pay cut, basically, and he didn't want to do that." And at the end of the day, I don't blame him for wanting that. I know the whole team haven't been playing that great this season, But when you've got 2 years left on your contract and you've got that amount of money still, whatever you've been put on, whatever he's on or whatever his earnings are, and then the owners are asking you to take a pay cut on your wages, he feels not appreciated by the club. Because the guy's thinking to himself, despite the bad season I've had, okay, I'm still up in history for scoring that Champions League winning goal. I've still done well at Chelsea. I'm still 23 years old. I've got a long way to go for my career. I can improve as a player. You know, probably obviously needs the right manager to improve him. Now, we all know Thomas Tuchel did improve him when he was a Chelsea manager. It just went after that when he left. We all know what happened. We brought in good old Graham Potter come in, and Kai Havertz's game, a lot of the other players' games just all dropped. They just were not having the same season and impact as we know they usually can do. And that's not just on Kai, but it was always Kai and Mason that the fans always seemed to be belated at and giving them the tough time because it was those two players. But they were not looking on the whole of the whole team. So in some ways, it'll be gutting to see Kai Havertz go. But if he was to go to Arsenal, we've got to also look at this as again, Kachilla. Why are the likes of the big guns, our rivals, why would you sell to a rival football club? I think this is what Chelsea fans have got to understand. You don't sell a player, regardless of how you feel about a player. He's still a top talent for me. And selling him to a rival club like Arsenal, he improves that team straight away. They're in the Champions League next season. They're going to be playing over 60 games. The guy's going to get a lot of first-team football. And we all know under Arteta, if he's supposed to be the mini clone of Pep Guardiola, all right, we all know what Pep Guardiola does. He brings players in, he improves them. If this guy gets a kick out of Kai Havertz and puts him in the position that he needs to be played in, you're going to see a completely different Kai Havertz. And you're going to see all the Chelsea fans afterwards saying that wanted him gone. Why did we sell him? Why did we sell him to a rival? Out of all things to go and do, we sold him to a rival and watch him then go and ball out at Arsenal. And that's exactly what he's going to go and do. Okay, people think he's going to be a backup to Saka. He won't be a backup to Saka. I think there's a place for him in that midfield three, personally. I think he can play deep. If you play him in the Leverkusen, if Arteta decides to play him in the role that he played at Leverkusen, for me, he plays in the midfield three. And that guy, I think, plays better as an attacking midfielder, for me, personally, rather than a false nine or cutting in from the right-hand side or left-hand side. For me, he comes. If you're playing as an attacking midfielder, you'll see this guy cook. And I think the kind of manager Arteta is, he'll improve him. And you'll see that happen next season. It's the same with all the other players they're selling on. And we're selling them all to our rival clubs. And fans are going to realise this. A lot of these other big clubs, I'll put it to you straight in this way, Coachella, right? If Manchester City were to ever sell, say, God forsake, they were to ever sell Erling Haaland, do you honestly truly think they're going to sell him to a rival football club in the Premiership? No, they're going to make sure they sell him somewhere abroad. You know, Man United would do the same with Rashford. You'll never see Manchester United selling Rashford to Chelsea. That would never, ever happen. But we as Chelsea, all of a sudden, are selling our good players to our rival football clubs. And this is what I'm trying to make all fans understand.
And this is just quickly, what do you make of the argument, just like the one on the screen, that he hasn't been that great for 3 seasons?
I don't think he's been that bad for 3. I think that's a bit harsh for 3 seasons. I think, I mean, if you're adding the 3 seasons into that, you're adding him. You're also putting him into that Champions League winning season when we won the Champions League. Yeah, and he scored that goal, so he goes down in history for that. I don't think he's had that much of a bad season personally, but a lot of people are laughing at the comments, maybe laughing at the situation, what I'm saying about Kai Havertz. But you watch, this guy will go to Arsenal, he'll ball out there. I think he's had a bad. I'd say the last 2 seasons probably haven't been haven't been that great. That's because the guy gets getting put into different positions. That you can't seem to. It looks like whatever managers come in there after Thomas Tuchel can't find a position for Kai Havertz in their team, and that's probably why he's not balling out as he should be. But I tell you what, under a really, really good manager, I think he'll ball out. And let's be honest, if he was to go to Manchester City, Pep improves him, finds a position for him in the team. Arteta finds a place for him in the Arsenal team. And I think even Ten Hag would find a position for him in the Man United team. That's how much I do still think he's a great player. But a lot of fans don't want to see it. A lot of fans are just, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of Mount, get rid of Cover, These are all our players that have won Champions Leagues and won trophies. These are all players that are still, if you want to call them that, they are still what I call, compared to the players that we're signing now, these players are still older. They're still experienced players, despite some of their ages, because of the stuff they've won. And I think getting rid of these players is not going to be very easy to replace them. And you'll see it this season, mate. Look at the players that we're linked with, Kachilla, right? We're getting rid of Kai Havertz, and for who? For Onana from Everton, a team that was fighting relegation all season. And you want to bring in Onana for Kai Havertz or Mason Mount? That's all I've got to say on that. That's all I've got to say on that.
The only thing I want to say for me, Kai, if Kai leaves, I'm fine. If Kai stays, I'm fine. But my option would be for him to stay. But if it's asked to leave, yeah, fine. Here's the thing: if Arsenal are the ones that are going to pay the money and the club wants to sell it to Arsenal, fine by me. Here's the thing: as much as I don't want that to happen. One thing I want to say for most especially to those that have been calling sell Kai, and when they hear Kai say he wants to join Arsenal, they start calling him a snake. I don't think it makes sense. You have no right to dictate where he goes if you want the club, if you want him sold in the first place. If that makes sense. Big up, players leaving seems to be a new trend. Makes you wonder what is going on. Big up to you right there, Glenn. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much. I think good question. Here's the thing: there's a pattern, and I'm beginning to think the reason the established players, especially, are leaving. The younger players, lots of them aren't pushing to leave, but established players are pushing to leave, especially those ones that are in their contracts are winding down. Probably the issue may well lie. The issue may well lie in the construct of the new contract, or let me say in the format of the new contract. They don't want that. They want to go somewhere else where how much they get paid doesn't depend on what the club wins or doesn't win. So if you have an option, if you're a player, it's business for all parties involved, first of all. If you have an option where you go to some other club and they pay you more and it's not as incentivized as Chelsea's own contract, you take it. No matter how much you love the club, it's business for all parties involved. You can say there's a pattern to the more established players wanting to leave or not willing to put pen to paper for a new contract. It's probably, because of the new, you can say contract construct, maybe, if you want to phrase it that way. I will come back to the panel in a bit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Players of the previous regime don't extend their contract because new owners want to put some balancing wages. That's a good argument. That's all. It's about money. They just pretend that they're loyal. Forget about loyalty. It's business. Business comes first, then loyalty follows. Here's the thing. If you work for an organization, if they pay you well, then you'll be loyal to them. That's it. Loyalty is secondary. The monetary aspect of the whole thing comes first. Forget the loyalty to people. Nobody's in primary school anymore. So forget the loyalty thing. Pay the player, then they'll be loyal to you. If you don't pay them, they go somewhere else where they get the money. It's business. After all, if they're not doing well, you sell them in a heartbeat to get someone else. It's business for all parties involved. So the loyalty thing, I think it's overrated. There we go. We need to know why Kai wants to leave. Get him out now, ASAP. Keep the same energy. Here's the thing. I don't. Like I said, if he leaves, I'm fine. If he stays, I'm fine. What's my preference? Let him stay. Let's see him under Pochettino in a deeper position. That's just my opinion. New striker Fofana and Nkunku, Sterling, Broya, and other Havertz is surplus, especially given he doesn't want to be here. And we don't even know. There's a chance the manager don't want him. We don't know what's going on. So that's why I'm not going to be fighting anybody with regards to that argument. They wanted a bunch of players to take a pay cut after Champions League. I think the older players don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have that clause on their contract. But the new players, they do have that. Kai is on 35 million 5-year contract, 150K a week, and Arsenal wants to make it 200 plus for him. I'd take it if I were him. So I'm not going to even get into the argument why selling to Arsenal, because I can't stop that. It doesn't make me happy, but I can't stop it. You're on the panel here, so I'm going to get your thoughts in a bit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're just at 58 likes. We should be doing better than that. So since we're shooting for 300 likes, let's make it happen, people. Here I'm going to replace. Here I'm going to replace Odegaard. Yes, DJ, I remember when we tried to get Rooney. Yep, Mourinho tried to get Rooney, Gerrard, Modric, and Tottenham sold. Tottenham sold Modric to Real Madrid for a lesser fee. So I'm not sure. Are we that desperate that we have to sell to Arsenal? But at the same time, honestly, I'm not going to hit my head on the wall for it. But I'm not happy if we end up selling. I'm not going to be happy if we end up selling up selling him to Arsenal, but at the same time, I'm not going to kill myself. Blame everyone else. Okay, I'm going to move on from that one. This is his Champions League goal 2 years ago, and we're still talking about that. It looks like you look beyond what people are saying to.
No, I know.
Mendy and Kante contributed more. Yeah, nobody is
Honestly.
arguing that. Here's the thing. That's not the argument right now from most
It's
people
not.
here. We got Nkunku coming in for number 10. We cannot we cannot have a 3 high wage, no 10s with no European games. Mountain Kai or Kai needs to go, and Poch only wants to keep Mount. Yeah, we've heard that before. So if the manager doesn't want him, I'm off for the club selling him. I have a problem with the club selling him to Arsenal, but that's just that. That's where he ends. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna start pulling my hair because of it. Money is a narrative used for some and ignored with others. It's money for everyone, and that has always been my argument. Thought it was only Lukaku who wanted to leave. Now all I hear is excuses. If Poch, who had a long tenure at Spurs, isn't considered loyal, it raises questions about loyalty. Here's the thing, I'm going to say this again, the money comes before loyalty. In football, nobody's in primary school. Everybody wants to put food on the table for their family. Everybody wants to secure their future. It's a subjective concept, and individual circumstances, it can influence decisions. Here's the thing, and that's the truth. But first of all, your payment comes first. You're not going to work for free because you're loyal to a certain club or so. By capping the wage at 150K, how many top players can we attract? I am afraid we are trended towards mid-table mediocrity. Let's see what happens. Let's give Poch 10K a month. Let's see, if he still wants to manage the project because he's loyal to us or because he wants to be loyal to us. I disagree about being worried having Havertz play for the competition. We need his sales price for FFP to acquire players and positions. We need them. We can still. Here's the thing: we can sell Havertz and get a player who'll be better. Who'll be getting better twice as much, if that makes sense. Why worried? Then it's again. I'm not worried about anybody. This is Kachila. I listen well. You probably know me. I know you very well, and I know you've come up with an argument. I cannot stand double standard, but I haven't seen double standards yet. People are just voicing their opinions, and you cannot bring one argument and say you've heard that particular person say something different when we talk about a different player, if that makes sense. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 60 likes. We're shooting for 100 likes. We're shooting for 300 likes, and we're still just at 60. Can we please beef up the likes, people? And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ty, you have anything to say with the Kai Havertz talks? I'm waiting for you. You go ahead, shoot for it.
I have a lot of things to say. I was
okay, shoot for it. And I'm sure you're going to disagree with DJ this time.
Well, kinda, and I will and I won't.
Just disagree with him. You will still be friends.
I'm gonna disagree with him mostly, though. I'm gonna disagree with him mostly. But
Good chilling, mate.
One thing that I have to say is that people need to stop downplaying what Havertz did in the Champions League final. People saying that he scored a goal. He did not just score a goal. He created 3 chances, and that could have led to goals. Werner missed a chance. Pulisic missed a chance to make it 2-0, and he also did a lot of things. Fine, Havertz has not been the greatest player, and I've already accepted that at this time he's not good enough for Chelsea. Doesn't mean he can never become good for Chelsea, but it's been three seasons, and there hasn't really been a high progression in terms of what he can do. I've seen glimpses of what he did at Bayer Leverkusen, but he's not really a player that if he leaves, you can say that what are we going to do? You can find a replacement for Havertz and somebody that can offer more than what he does. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't offered anything at the club since he's been there. And in all honesty, even in the worst season that we've had in a long time, he still ended up with I'm pretty sure he finished as our top goal scorer. If I'm wrong.
Yeah, 7 goals.
Yeah, and even that sounds horrible, but at the end of the day, you can still see that in an attack where everybody's missing, hitting posts, hitting wide, hitting over the bar, missing headers, clearing the ball off the line and all those things. He's been one of those options that has always tried, but at the end of the day,
Kishan, let him drop. You'll come in. Go ahead, Ty.
At the end of the day, if Arsenal want him and Chelsea willing to sell him, which I don't understand, because if the rules was reversed, I don't think that would be the possibility. But in all honesty, if Havertz leaves, I have no problem with it, because he's not been that player that I was hoping he progressed to be. And in all honesty, I've lost faith in believing that he will be that player that I want him to be. In order to help Chelsea get to where they need to go to. But
maybe he needs a fresh start.
Yeah, he probably needs a fresh start. I one thing I will say that I agree with VJ is that he does have a higher chance of succeeding at Arsenal than he.
Don't worry, DJ will still be your friends. Don't brown nose him.
Oh God, chill, bro. Honestly, big up to you, Ty.
Go ahead with what you're saying, Ty.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, people say that we're getting Nkunku, so we can't have these certain players. There's no guarantee that Nkunku would come to the league and he would adapt in a time frame that works for Chelsea fans, because Chelsea fans are known for not being patient for with these players. And I considering he's come from the Bundesliga, yes, he has the build, yes, he has he's a team player. He needs to be more selfish, in my opinion. And in a league like the Premier League, and knowing the DNA of Chelsea, you need your number 10s, or you need those attacking players to be scoring more goals. And Nkunku is that type of player that is more of a team player. So in a sense, I'm concerned for when he comes in and he needs that time to adjust. I'm sure fans are not going to be patient. They're going to say that, oh, he's not doing this. He needs to be scoring goals. He needs to be doing this. But I heard somebody say that we need the funds, and right now Chelsea are desperate. So if people are going to ask if Chelsea are that desperate, yes, they are. If they weren't desperate, they would not be putting such a high supposedly putting a high price tag on these players, because they know that they need to sell players. They need to get rid of these players so that they can get the players that the manager wants, and they can get some funds and balance the books with FFP. Yes, FFP is not really a enormous problem like most people think, but they do need to balance the book. They can't be buying more than selling, and they can't be selling more than buying.
They can't be selling and just spending the money on players.
Yeah, you
balancing the books is also a priority.
You need a good cash flow. It can't be one more than the other. We need to sell, because we've bought a lot of players, and we have a lot of players that are just fringe players. So you need to sell. So not only the players that are in the squad right now, but also players that are going to return, and players that have been at the club and we've struggled to let go. So if Havertz leave, I don't have a problem with it, because he's not really been a player to say that if he leaves, we're going to have an issue replacing. He's a player that you can find somebody who can replace him, and you never know, maybe for less. And I'm not willing to judge a player to say that, oh, we're linked with this player and he's not done good at this club, because circumstances can lead. And that's ironic as well that you just said that, because if Havertz goes to Arsenal and succeeds, if we get an Onana, for example, and he comes and despite Everton having their relegation scraps and whatever, he could come here and succeed. You never know. Circumstances
in the case of Ahmad, you're talking about Amadou Onana. Here's the thing. We used to the club signing players. You can say players that are well established already. And we wait until that begin. We're used to that. Usually, when we go for talents that you can say the scouts, they've looked at and believe that player will cook if they join Chelsea. We usually don't believe in them until we see it happen. But I get it. I'll come to you, Kishan. Just give me a few seconds. Let me catch up with the chat. I'll come to you. Yeah, I agree with you. Let's get rid of any player that wants to leave. The sentiments aside, I like Kai. I'm not. We all see things are from different reasons. Most of us see football just on the surface level. I've seen Kai. I know maybe if it's deployed deeper, he'd be more effective for us actually. And people don't give him credit for how good he is actually in terms of his passing range. But we played him in positions where we're not able to see how good he is in terms of passing. But that's, by the way, the Edison assist for Havertz doesn't get spoken about enough. You think he did? I'm just going to move on from that. For sake of sanity, Havertz has achieved 23. What most do at 27. What most clubs actually hasn't achieved. He only he can only get better. I wouldn't sell him for anything less than 75 million. But that's the problem. If he runs down again next year, it becomes even cheaper. 75 million. But if he stays, fine and happy. If he leaves, for me, I feel the same. I look, whatever happens, doesn't mean that much for me. I just don't want us to sell him to Arsenal. But if they end up doing that, it has to be okay. Mount wants 200k a week. Kai wants 200k a week. To only cover Lukaku and Ziyech wants to leave. Okay, let's see. There was a lot of commotion regarding Mount and Rice being close friends. Do you really think he's telling Rice to sign for us after all of this? Yeah, if you've always believed that they're close friends, that he's going to come to Chelsea because his body, Rice is a Chelsea player, then just move on right now, because Arsenal, they've actually put on a bid for Rice. It was rejected, but I think they'll go in with a much improved offer and get their man. And we're not serious about Rice, actually, guys. Of this Maxwell, nice to see. It's been a while. He says, guys, if you think Havertz will play well in any position for Chelsea or for any team except Man City, you can keep waiting. This is the EPL, not German League. Okay, that's your opinion there. We keep on saying Havertz isn't good enough for CFC. The player we are linked to aren't any better. There's a need for more patience. Here's the thing. My point is, we heard he wants to leave. I leave it at that. I don't want to get into the argument whether he's a good player or not. It's such an awful season. He's a top scorer and actually one of our better players. I get it. It's not. We can do better than him, if you ask me. If I'm being honest, there's a chance we get another player in, and it turns out that player actually letting him go isn't. Then would say letting him go again isn't a mistake. If that makes sense, I wasn't a mistake. Havertz is atrocious. Okay, I will sell even for 30, 40 million, but unfortunately, it's not up to you to decide how much is sold. Unfortunately for you, the Trobin from Shakhtar are probably available on the cheap, given their money contract issues. 6'4", 6'5". I remember watching him versus Real Madrid, making numerous saves. He's a top goalkeeper. Okay, let's try as much as we can to keep the topics aligned, please. We're trying to learn. We're learning, training ourselves to keep the topic aligned, because switching between topics like this can be exhausting. As much as I like to interact with you, we want to stop that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for 63 likes. Fans are saying to keep these players when these players contributed to us finishing 12th. Here's the thing, everybody, we're all entitled to our respective opinions. If you have a counter argument, present it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, and big up Martin. Oh, always nice to see you. Brighton want Gallagher according to 90 minutes. I've seen that myself. Let's see. What are we waiting on? Waiting on for Havertz? We need a 28. We need a 28 million. Okay, to break even. Young in arrival tax takes it to 15 million. This deal shouldn't take a day to close. If they're really offering 16 million, I'd say take it. I would say Gallagher to Brighton if they want him. Then sell to Tottenham. Mace Kai Connor should be a 65, 55, 45. Coach, I am glad that no CFC scouts are in this forum. I would be surprised if your take on Havertz would be the same as some have in the chat. Well, we're all, again, our opinions differ because we reason differently. Good day. A good day to you, to Supreme Court. Always nice to see you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I'm trying to get to the very bottom. I am disappointed in the lack of news on potential incomings. At the moment, we have to get a move on. Arsenal are progressing well to sign Havertz for 60 million, according to reports. It's a good price, really. And here's the thing: you don't have to know everything the club, what they're doing, what the club is doing. If they're working behind the scenes, I'm okay with that. And rumors are that's exactly what they're doing. But eventually, we'll start hearing much about what they're doing behind the scenes. The negative judgment on players are unfortunate. It goes on to show that we are still dealing with outcome of Potter's season. Should we be blaming players? I don't think so. I think I've argued that before. We've had such a terrible season. It's not the sort of season where we should be isolating the performances of any individual player. Good work, Coach. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Anyone read the Mbappe to Chelsea needs, it's absolute bull doo. It will not come. That will never happen. Hello to you too, Kim. So I appreciate you. Also, these two players have spoken to all the clubs and fancy a move away. Poch needs 100% commitment, so I appreciate that. Very well said. Coach, have you compared Havertz and Lukaku stats? Don't bother. Lukaku is levels. Okay, Kishan, your turn. What do you make? Don't take it personal. I don't take anything personal. We're here to have a conversation. Your opinion on the situation. After presenting your opinion, do you have any issues with the club sending him to Arsenal? For me, if anybody wants him sold, that person have no right to dictate where he goes. But your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, like Arsenal wouldn't be my first choice to send him somewhere, but if they're paying the money, then it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. See ya. That's it. Kai Havertz to me hasn't improved one iota since he's been here. And yeah, there's context to it as to like what's going around everything. But like as this player who was hyped up to be this generational talent, I mean, like I would see some glimpses, but it just wasn't happening here. So if it's not working here, move on and try it somewhere else. Like I'm not even gonna I'm gonna be diplomatic about it. Like, okay, like just try somewhere else, man. Because we need better players over here. We need better talents over here. Players that can play now and produce now. And I'm not gonna wait on this kid because it's not Havertz FC. So I'm not waiting on him. That's it. I wouldn't mind him being a backup behind, not in backup, competition for Nkunku when he comes in. But if him and Mount are like our biggest kind of cash cows at this point and we need money, it makes sense. Just sell the player. That's it.
Yep, and people, please, we're trying to keep the topics aligned. Switching between topics doesn't help. It can be very exhausting as much as I like to interact with you. But I know Kimso he wasn't here when we talked about that. Why are we only signing young stars? Young stars will make a start for. We need balance. Experience is key. Arsenal bottled it because probably they don't have experience in depth. That's my argument right there. But it makes sense. We have to mix it up. We have to sign some experienced players in some positions. Chelsea giving me Dortmund vibes. I hope that doesn't turn out to be the case. But Kim, so more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Mbappe on his last year of PSG rejecting an extension. Yeah, he's going. You know where he's going, not Chelsea. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. It's quite interesting. The rivals and top clubs want all our players. So we probably shouldn't send all of them to rival, to be honest. Maybe one or two at most. Here's the thing. The problem is some of them, the situation we'll find ourselves in, if we persist on keeping them, they'd end up living as free agents. And that would be a huge L for us. And so right now, I think we should sell some of them. In the case of Man, we have to sell or he gets to leave on a free. Kai, if we don't sell him now, there's a chance in the coming season his value won't come close to anything we'll be able to get right now. So that's the case of most of them. Atalanta want 86 million for Højlund, according to the Mail. I think he's more likely to join United than come to us. We don't need this Højlund youngster. Let's keep going. Sell Kai, apart from the UEFA Champions League goal, he did nada. Okay, your opinion, coach. One more thing, there's a possibility of a war between Arsenal and Bayern. I don't think it will stop at 60. So if they both want them, let the price go up. We have an opportunity. He still have like 2.5 years left on his contract or so, or up to 3 actually. Subscribe to Chelsea Sessions. Go check out TyTalk's YouTube channel. Please be sure to subscribe to him. Let's help him get to 1,000 as soon as possible. When I get a chance, I'll pin that at the very top. We need experienced players. Bally, are you listening? Bally, are you listening? Please, once more again, go check out TyTalk's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. The link is there. You can see it there. We need experienced players. Paulie, are you listening? Yeah, we need to mix it up. I agree with you. But let's keep the topics aligned. Quick question. Does Havertz make Arsenal better, even playing as an attacking midfielder or a second striker? Here's the thing. There's no telling of what will happen. But one thing I've learned since I started following football, that how a player applies themselves on the pitch or how well a player does for a club, in most cases, does come down to the demands of the manager. I'll give you 2 examples. What's his name? Rudiger was so crappy under Frank Lampard that one of my friends, who's a journalist, what's his name, wrote an article saying maybe it's time for Rudiger to move on. Lots of us didn't know he was good as as good as he turned out to be under Thomas Tuchel. Same thing as Andreas Christensen. We've always known he's good, but he became even better under Thomas Tuchel. So it depends on the manager. He could go there and start cooking for them. Martin Odegaard, believe me, Real Madrid will look back and say, why did they sell him? He's that good. So, yeah, there's a chance he does well, but you don't know. It's not a given. He has to perform, first of all. And again, my point is it depends on the manager and it depends on the setup of the team. But let's see. Also, it means Arsenal spend the Caicedo money on Havertz. If they sign Havertz and sign Rice, which means we have less competition for the signature of Caicedo, if that makes sense. I don't think they're still going to sign Caicedo if they sign Rice and Kai Havertz. We do need better players. Interestingly enough, we haven't got any through the door. The transfer
window just started today, right?
Yeah, it just started. Yeah, a long way. So I'm not worried. Caicedo incoming, that guy can now make a decision. It's his future, so he should take his time to decide. But it's not up to him. We haven't even put in a bid for him. So let's keep the document. Let's keep the comments aligned. Otherwise, I'll start skipping your comments again. I'm not a machine, please. We need to keep it aligned. I wonder if Arsenal intend to use Havertz as a Xhaka replacement along. No, that doesn't. I don't think that makes sense. He cannot replace Xhaka. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream. 2 years left on Kai's contract with this season just finished transfer window. 2 years is not bad, so we're not going to be in a rush to sell him really, but we should if we get a sizable fee for him. If we can get a sizable for him, let's wait on that bidding war. I prefer not to sell it to rivals to rivals left and right if it's not necessary, because with the fans are the ones that are going to suffer for it. Havertz wants to leave, get him out. It's as simple as that. That's how I see it too. I've seen the news of Premier League fixtures. Looks great, but a tough one. I know you want to hear when we talked about Patrick Joyce. We want to keep the topics aligned. Right now, we're talking about Kai Havertz. Otherwise, I'm going to skip your comments. Arteta just unlocks Havertz's mentality, and boom, the boy becomes a monster, and we'll look like clowns. But we don't look like clowns because he wants to leave. Let's start from there. We're told that he wants to leave, which means if he leaves, if he starts cooking for them, I'll just say I'm moving on easily. If he doesn't want to leave and we'll sell him and he starts cooking for them, then I have regrets. Kai makes Arsenal better as a rotational player that can cover for Xhaka. I don't think he will play in the same position as Saka. Odegaard and potential Jesus. Makes them better. Even if it's a rotational player, he does make them better, if that makes sense. I keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go a long way. If you haven't, if there's one sell which gives me some regret, it was a CFC selling at Robin. This is what comes to mind when thinking about that. Okay, maybe we have to sell players before June 30th to comply with FFP. We have no time. Let's see what happens. I think we'll have a lot of outgoings. Chelsea are working hard on Moises Caicedo's deal. Talks have been taking place for weeks and nothing done yet. It has always been Chelsea. Those been front runners. Okay, despite rumors of Arsenal and all this. Keep dropping the likes, people, and keep the topics aligned. A London derby to start 2024. Keep the topics aligned, people. Whoever wants to leave should leave. At this point, we shouldn't be catering to players that don't want to be at that club. It's as simple as that. If Kai has really said he wants to leave, let him go. Bless his soul, Mario Minto. I haven't seen in a while. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join us here. I might have missed these earlier, but what is Havertz's best position? Has anyone answered that question? Before Havertz came to us, I think you could say he's more of an attacking midfielder than he is a number 9. But because we didn't have a number 9, he's always been called upon to fulfill that role for us. And has he been prolific at it? No. He's struggled. He hasn't been, you could say, effective at it. And that didn't help. You could say, I get it. He's not been in the best of form. But the fact that we've played him in multiple positions hasn't helped.
But Coach, he did say he can play the striker position.
No, but that's not his preferred position. I know he did say that.
Play it. All right.
Sorry?
No, I'm saying he did say it multiple times. He can play the 9.
Okay. I am happy that we're sending our agents out to the field. Arsenal is proven to be the best clubs of a player, so to learn how to overthrow our rivals. Here's the thing, Arsenal, they haven't been lucky with the players they signed from us, actually. But I'm going to just leave it at that. If he leaves, fine. If he stays, fine. I'm sure Poch cannot be as blind as Potter. Lampard playing him to his strength. Here's the thing, if the manager wants him, if he doesn't, that's fine. And of course, facing Bournemouth. Let's see what else we have here. Why are Chelsea facing Liverpool first? Well, I don't know. It's done and run down. No school for them today. Both of them. The other one will not go to school for nearly 2 months plus. It's summer. 2025 is when we strike leaving. Okay, let's see. Let's have Havertz and Mount cook for Arsenal and United respectively. Not going to lose sleep. I'm going to say the same thing too. I'm not too worried whether he leaves or stays, but that's that. By the way, we're going to switch topics right now, and please do try the best you can to keep the topics aligned. It can be exhausting to be switching up between topics just like this. I'm not a human being. I'm not a machine. I'm a human being. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 67 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. And right now, we're going to switch the topic. What else do we have lined up here? Just give me 1 second. All right, let's go for it. Yeah, it's still Kai Havertz. We've talked about that. No need going into that. Chelsea open to offering Kai Havertz a new deal, but this wage on new terms will likely be on less money. So he's not going to take that. It's business for all parties involved. Arsenal are willing to offer Havertz a similar basic wage he's currently earning as okay, now it doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to move on to that one. But before we move on, sorry, AD is in the house. I'm going to get AD's thoughts on the Kai Havertz situation. AD, your thoughts? And do you think we should sell it to Arsenal? Or is that do you have an issue with that? But go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Hi to everyone. On the Havertz, you see, I think what is there is the owners are actually looking to recoup money, because I was discussing with someone yesterday and I said if he was under Abramovich, there is no chance he sells to Arsenal, But these new owners, they're after getting as much as they can get back. So whoever offers, they are expecting to get 70 million for Kai Havertz and 70 for Mason Mount. So I don't think they'll be really bothered about where he goes to, if they get the amount they are asking for. So, but for me, being Chelsea fan, I mean, most Chelsea fans wouldn't be happy seeing Kai Havertz going to Arsenal. But I mean, as they say, because they know by the end of June, we have to get in some money. So Arsenal knows that. So they know Chelsea might be under pressure to bring in some money. If not, I think they need to get in some money to balance the books by end of June. So if he keeps going this way, whoever offers, but we should not rule out Bayern Munich as well. Bayern Munich, they are showing interest. If Bayern Munich could offer the same thing as Arsenal, definitely all Chelsea fans will want him to go to Bayern Munich rather than go to Arsenal. But if Arsenal is paying more than what Bayern Munich wants, I think the new owners we have, I won't be surprised if they sanction him going to Arsenal. But I mean, I don't really, I listened to the conversation about Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is the kind of player that has not lived up to the expectations, to be honest. 75 million, you cannot really say he's nailed it for me. He's been in and out of games, not really taking games by the scruff of the neck, and then, I mean, taking full control of when he has the opportunity to do it, rather than the only thing that sticks out for us is the Champions League goal. That's what is still keeping him relevant to me. So, but I won't be, like as you said, I won't be really bothered if Kai Havertz goes or stays. But for me, if he leaves and we get in player that can really give their best, I don't really mind, to be honest, because the new model is any player that has 2 years or less. They want to, it's either you renew or you're sold, which is I think is the best for business. We've lost so many players going on the free. Look at Kante. Kante is just gone on a free. Rudiger went on a free. Christensen went on a free. So there are too many players we've lost in the past going on the free. So they can't allow their contracts to run down to 1 year left. And the players, as soon as they know is getting down to 1 year, they want to run the contract down and then go for a free. So I think that's the new model we have to get used to. That once it's 2 years and you're not showing him willingness to sign a new contract, then you're off. So for me, from business point of view, it makes absolutely perfect sense. For him, it's either he renews or he's sold. And if he's sold, we get replacement. We can't really say the new replacement. We have young midfielders coming. We should not forget Andre Santos. We have Andre Santos, we have Caicedo, we have all of them, Chukwuemeka and all. We have to give these boys a chance. There should be room for them. They paid money to bring them in. If we keep keeping all these players, we can't really have. I know it's going to be a young squad, but at the same time, if the young squad, if they give better than what the old players, so-called old players, are giving, I mean, we are all in for it. Let us see what way it's going to go. Experience is important, but attitude as well and your commitment is the most important in terms of building a team and squad.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wasn't. Yes, then I'm going to mute because we get. You made. Okay, your points are all excellent. And here's the thing. I think I agree with you. It's a business decision. And we've heard before that the club, they told him, you say that you sign a new contract now, or we'll put you on the market, and that's exactly what's happening. And plus, if a player wants to leave, let that player go. It's a risk trying to keep him, because the mindset is everything. Mindset, and you can say, let me say, you maybe commitment, if you prefer, is everything. If a player is not that committed, why try to keep him? Just sell him. It's as simple as that. As much as I say I know there's a play in him, I recognize the fact that, yeah, he hasn't been, you can say, he's our top scorer, but he hasn't been. But I think there's a good player in him. Maybe if he plays deeper, he does. But that beyond that, I understand he wants to leave, and the club, yeah, if he's not going to sign a new contract, why keep him? The moment he has just a year, then for a lesser fee, and we want money right now, so just sell him. I'm going to move on from him. If they end up selling him to Arsenal, I will not complain too much, really, given the situation we'll find ourselves in. But that's why we're moving from that. Best position is false nine, inverted, ghosting, disappearing, reappearing, deep lying, wing back, or maybe just a deep liar.
Oh man.
16 million for Havertz with Arsenal, that's a lot. I'm not saying that's a lot. As a Chelsea fan, I think I would say take it. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people that likes to go along. Where Arsenal have withdrawn from Caicedo, it sounds as if
it's rubbish.
You think it's rubbish?
Yes. And
but
when
I think they'll be able to sign him and sign Declan Rice.
No, there's a reason why I said that, but I know that some people, because I've already been attacked on Twitter because I tweeted something about that. But anyways, if I do explain why I say that, some people may understand and some people may not understand. They have not withdrawn. People need to be careful of the words that they use. They have not withdrawn interest. The interest will still be there because there's no
until they sign Declan Rice.
Exactly, that is what I'm saying. So it's not that they've stepped away, but they're not out of it yet. They haven't withdrawn anything. He's not their first choice, but that doesn't mean that they've withdrawn their interest. There's an interest in the player still, and if Declan Rice does not happen because their first bid has been supposedly or reportedly rejected by West Ham, there's no the guarantee of them getting Rice isn't there. There's not been an agreement with West Ham. Perhaps there's an agreement on personal terms with Rice.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You're breaking up.
There's no guarantee that he goes there at this moment. So Caicedo will still be an
Ty, you're breaking up real bad. You may have to go out and come back in. Why is Mason Mount being rejected? Because the transfer window is still a long way to go. I think we'll get more from them. I miss Rudiger. Let's see, because he is worth at least 70 million. Maybe you think? I don't think we'll get 70 for him. We'll get more, but not 70. Opening bid, yep, it's an opening bid. I remember now the last time Chelsea played Luton was 28 December 1991, and Luton beat them. Okay, let's see what happens. But let's keep the topics aligned, people. Havertz better go to Bayern. You saw, if you listen to what AD explained, I think we're all for the highest bidder right now. We want the money. It's as simple as that. And this here says people need to understand, if we don't comply with FFP end of June, we ain't signing anyone for another year or two. We'll probably have to get lamps to manage us again when Potter sees it. I don't think so. I think I saw Mr. Nevada here. Mr. Nevada, I don't know if I said hello to you. Apologies if I didn't, but thank you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And Lawale Ayodeji, what are the midfielders Potter is looking at? We don't know any updates. We don't know any. We're looking at a few players. We're looking at Lavia. We're looking at Moises Caicedo. At one point, Gabby Vega was mentioned, but that one
Højbjerg has been mentioned. Højbjerg, Tottenham's midfielder, we're looking at as well.
Been mentioned. So a few players have been mentioned, but we're not too sure which ones we're serious about. Keep dropping the likes under. Thank you for saying that, DJ. 69 likes. We're shooting for 300, but let's get it to at least 100. Get me Caicedo, Paulinho, and Onana, all Lavia. Keep Sanchez and Caicedo, and get a right wing to compete with Madueke. If Ziyech and Pulisic are leaving, it's looking like they're going to be leaving, a good striker, and we're ready to go. I think we'll have to be strategic in the market.
We still got Cho.
I think he'll still leave.
Yeah,
I think he'll probably end up leaving, because
true.
before he stays, he has to sign a new contract. Do I think he'd do that? Maybe he would want to do that. If he sees an opportunity at Chelsea, he may well sign it, but I don't know. Chelsea facing Dortmund in preseason will be tough because they played them last season in the Champions League. Okay, thank you for that. Dele Alli is going to
He's been mentioned to sign
the Beautiful Games Club. He's one of the midfielders that's been mentioned with the Beautiful Game. Coach, how do you rate Jackson of Villarreal? A bit too raw. I've seen a few. Now I actually know I knew the guy they were talking about, but I didn't know him by name because I usually watch their games because of Samuel Chukwueze. In some instances, I've watched a few of their games. So I think it's a bit too raw. And are we that serious about him? I don't know. Coach, how do you? I've read that one too. This one here, Tangu Radio, nice to see you, Tangu. Hi, Coach. I just saw news that Arsenal has withdrawn from Caicedo pursuit. They may well still go back. Maybe they have confidence that they'll be able to wrap up the Declan Rice deal. I am really shocked we aren't really linked with Paulinho. Up till now, you don't know. You don't know every player we're linked with. But if we're not linked, I think he's a good player. But let's see what happens. The brother is in the club down the road. That doesn't make it easier. Katila, the last statement is true about FFP. We must sell before 30th of June. I didn't know that really. And I don't know everything, but thank you for educating me. We're here to learn from each other. 80 million for Kolo Muani instead of Dusan Vlahovic. Everything comes down to what the manager wants. I get it. This is your opinion. But what does the manager really want? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with 70 likes, 30 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. Maybe because the City is interested in Rice also, and Arsenal would let that happen. I don't believe the City are really interested in Rice because they have what's the other Englishman too?
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips. So it just doesn't make any sort of sense. So let's move to the next up. So yeah, but I'm just gonna just switch on. Just read it. Talks are proceeding well over Kai Havertz transfer to Arsenal. It has been confirmed he's keen to join the Gunners. I understand the price valuation is around 60 million. Some are saying that Arsenal are willing to pay that money. For this one here, French clubs are now showing interest in signing Edouard Mendy. Yeah. How long does he still have on his contract, actually? I want to frustrate the guy. I like him. I've always argued he's actually well equipped to do better than Kepa Arrizabalaga. He's proven he's actually on his day. I think I'd take him. I know a lot of people don't give him credit, given how good he is with his feet. Actually, he's not the best. Kepa is better in that department, but I would take him. Both of them are good goalkeepers, but unfortunately, he looks like he needs a fresh start. Maybe somewhere he can earn what he deserves, because right now he's earning peanut. And maybe if he doesn't like the new, contract construct, the construct of the new contract, maybe he should move on. Sometimes a fresh start is all a player needs to regain form. Frank Lampard gave him a chance, and he looked shaky that day. He didn't look like the Mendy. We all know how good he can be. But that's, by the way, Eddie, your thoughts on the Mendy situation. Do you think we should try and keep him, or do you think we should let him go? For me, from his perspective and for his good, I'd say he needs a fresh start. He needs to leave Chelsea and go where he'd be respected and get a chance to be the number one. There you go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's made up his mind to leave. He was having that negotiation for a new contract, and it was at the point, it was a very strong. When he was having good performances, it was looking like he was definitely going to get the new contract until his performance dipped. So he wasn't in that position to get any contract. I mean, to us, everybody saying it, he didn't deserve to get what he was asking for. And since then, he's not been the same. And for me, I don't see a way back for him. He has to get a fresh start. I think we've read about Monaco showing interest and some other clubs from the French league showing interest. I think he will want to go back to the French league to go and kickstart his career again. I think for me, he can't be staying around for Chelsea. He has to move. And then, has anyone
Go ahead. I thought you were done talking. Go ahead, Eddie. Eddie, go ahead.
Yeah, I said there's this rumor about us being linked to Gundogan. Has anybody heard about that?
No, I haven't.
All right, okay then.
Thank you. And who do you think Chelsea will sign this summer? We don't know. We'll talk about those. We've heard rumors or seen some reports with regards to the odds being linked with a move for them. Nothing. Anything about Onana or of Everton? Chances are we're pushing to sign him. That's what we've heard. I don't know whether I should take that seriously. Just take it with a pinch of salt. I don't know. Which French clubs? Monaco was mentioned. Mendy should just leave already. I think he should leave. A good start would be, again, he needs a fresh start. Austin Sebastian, I like your name. It rhymes there. But nice to see you, more importantly. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Who have 71 likes. The likes do go along with 29 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Let me see something I was going to pin here. I totally forgot. All right, Ty, if you get a chance, can you share the link to your channel again so that I can pin it? I forgot to pin it. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Thank you so much. If Havertz joins Arsenal, I think Arteta would do the same tactic like Pep with double 10, typical with 3-2-4-1. And that may well be the case. And again, Havertz can be effective if he's playing a bit deep and not starting as number 9. Kuchila was saying the opposite half year again. The opposite of what? Can you enlighten me? I want to know. What's wrong with Edouard Mendy, the Chelsea keeper? Well, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything is wrong with him. He lost form. And when he lost form, I was one of those that was calling for him to be dropped. And maybe had Thomas Tuchel dropped him at that point, he'd have the time to do some self-assessment and tell himself the truth, see what's wrong with him and find a solution himself. But the salary, the new contract thing, hasn't helped, if you ask me. With Odegaard and Havertz in that attacking midfield position, I think that could. Let's keep the topics aligned, people. Mendy has 2 years left, 52K a week. I think he should leave, go somewhere else where he should be earning more. Chelsea working on Caicedo for weeks, but deal isn't done yet, according to Romano, as Arsenal pull out of the race. I hope we get him. Don't try to keep anyone open the door when they want to leave. Else it gets toxic. I think that's the delicious comment of the day. Leave the door open for anybody that wants to leave. Otherwise, if you force people to stay, it becomes toxic. And I agree with you, because the truth remains, mindset is everything. If somebody has set your mind on leaving, you force them to stay, you will not get the best out of that person, honestly. So I like that comment. It's sad what happened to Mendy. He used to be good. I fully believe it's juju. Okay. The Premier League Summer Series takes place next month. I heard Chelsea will face 3 teams, including Brighton, Newcastle, and Fulham. Mendy wanted to get more money mid-season because of the minimum amount of clean sheets that Chelsea gave him until he could enter those talks. I think this is again, we just have to move on from Mendy right now. It has happened. I think he needs to move on to Lukaku. I could come back to Chelsea, but I don't know yet. I'm glad you don't know yet, Patrick. Living in La La Land, Red V. I'm not just don't want to talk about the Lukaku coming back to Chelsea, if that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. 72 likes, 28 more to get into 100. Let's make it work. Let's see what else do we have here. Chelsea all the way. What do you have to say? Mendy was immense during the Champions League. He was a run, but he should get another club like Havertz, Mount, and Cover. That's how it should be. Yep, I think he needs a fresh start. And plus, I don't think the club will offer him what he wants. Things have changed. Had it been the previous owners, he'd get a chance to probably get a good contract and measure Kepa Arrizabalaга's salary. But the new owners, I don't think they're willing to do that. Kuchila, there's more likely is some of the players wants to leave because the atmosphere is toxic and not the other way around. Possibly, and maybe the solution is for them to leave. Maybe they're part of the problem. Maybe they're part of the reason why the environment is toxic. But to me, atmosphere maybe. To me, I think another issue would be those that are nearing the end of their current, nearing the end of their current Chelsea contract want something different and they don't like the construct of the new contract format. Maybe for lack of a better way to phrase that. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Do we have anything new here? But Kishan, your thoughts on this Mendy situation? You have anything to add to that?
Not really. It's just he ran out of form and his time is up. Like we need a new keeper here, anyways. Because I don't think anyone's gonna take Kepa's contract. So I think Kepa's gonna stay, and then Mendy's gonna have to go.
You don't think the club will decide to terminate Kepa's contract to get in someone new? You don't see that happening?
Nah, I don't think so. If it does, great. But nah, I don't think so. I think he'll be like competition for Onana, and then his 2 years will run out, and then we put in Slonina to be Onana's competition. Maybe, I don't know.
Slonina will most likely go out on loan, especially this season. He needs to be playing week in, week out. At his age, he doesn't need to be sitting on the bench and be waiting on the chance to play. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. Ty, anything you have to say? Anything? Do you have anything to say with regards to the Mendy situation?
Let Mendy leave, get a fresh start. He's done well at Chelsea in terms of achievements. It's not worked for him. I think he needs a fresh start, as most players in the team. I've always said that I feel like he doesn't have that same hunger anymore, and he's also starting to show the weaknesses that I saw from he was at Standard Rhymes and everything. So these things are not a surprise, but it's unfortunate that he's picked up injuries and he's been on the unfortunate end of a lot of things pertaining performances. But I think he needs a fresh start, and if Chelsea was offering him a new contract and he wasn't accepting it, and clearly there's a possibility that he is open to leaving. So let's him leave. I would have preferred it to be a case where we find a way to get rid of both. Well, I don't want to say get rid of because I think that kind of sounds blunt, but
I think you put it right. He needs a fresh start. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
he's not a bad goalkeeper, but it hasn't things have gone. You can say he's been. You can say he has this has turned to bad for him at Chelsea. That's for lack of a better way to get my point across. But go ahead with what you were saying, Ty.
Yeah, so if you can get rid of him and Kepa, for example, then I'm sure the club would do that. But it's not an easy thing to do. I do think that I think we will be going for a goalkeeper. I think we may get a goalkeeper. The Onana deal is one that is very interesting, but with Mendy, I think he deserves a fresh start. He's won the Champions League. He, like somebody said, he had a good run in the Champions League, and he was crucial to us making to the finals.
He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was crucial. He made some top saves. He made some important saves as well. But yeah, that's the pass. And I mean, just like people say for Havertz scoring that important goal in the final. And although Mendy was important, I think we need to let go of the past, let sentiment be placed to the side, and let the players leave if they want to leave. Mason Mount wants to leave, let him leave. He's done something for the club. He's given quote unquote his all. So let him leave. Let them get a fresh start and we move on. The club will be there after these players. I don't understand why some people are acting like if they leave, it's the end of the club. It's the end of the era or tenure of those players, but it's not the end of the club.
Yeah, this was just a breaking news here. Chelsea are the favourites for the transfer of Brighton midfielder Moises Caicedo, with Arsenal now out of the race for the Ecuador international.
Oh, for God's sakes.
The international signature. Chelsea is likely to pay 70 plus 10, and Bayern Munich is also in contact with Brighton for Caicedo. It looks like Thomas Tuchel, that's his way of getting back to the new owners of just saying he wants Caicedo. Consider now you get what I'm saying, that there's something fundamentally wrong with Chelsea. It could be that those players, they're all nearing the end of their current Chelsea contract. It could be the toxicity that JC mentioned, because toxicity it can cause such problems, such exodus that we're seeing. But maybe the exodus is what we need. Player exodus is what we need for that problem to be solved. No, you think Lukaku? Okay, I'm not going to talk about Lukaku. Let's see. Get Kepa out. Okay, move forward with that guy. Getting out isn't easy. It's not as simple as you think. I like new kids like Enzo Modric-Noni staying out of limelight these days. They're recharging the batteries. They should keep away from transfer cycles for a month. And Clara, maybe that will help. Also, okay, you're having a conversation there. Let's say, what's this? It's just having the Lukaku conversation there, and I don't want to be part of that. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along. We also need a new goalkeeper to sign. They have so many goalkeepers, so it could be any keeper. I'm not sure. Okay, they're looking at so many goalkeepers. But that's by the way. Let me see something else I want to talk about here. Some it's quite a lot of stuff. Okay, DJ, you haven't spoken. Sorry. What do you make of DJ? What do you make of the Edouard Mendy situation?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go with what the guy's saying. Listen, I'm much just to what Ty was saying. I'm not saying he was referring to me, but I don't have any sentiment towards any players. My point of the matter has always been that the club is always bigger than the player. I've always accepted that. I've been a fan long enough to realise that and supported this club long enough to know that and realise that. All I'm basically was pointing out about, first of all, with Mendy, if we are definitely getting a goalkeeper in, then I'd say sell him on. But the guy's got like 2 years left on his contract. Give him a pre-season. See how he does in pre-season. If it's still not great, then obviously sell him if the right price comes in for him. But we obviously want to make sure we are getting a goalkeeper in, because at the moment the Onana deal seems to be cold at the moment. We don't know what's going on with that one. Other goalkeepers don't seem to. I mean, the other one we talked about is the AC Milan goalkeeper who doesn't want to come to Chelsea. So then you've got to ask what other goalkeepers are out there. I mean, others have been mentioned, but we definitely need another goalkeeper, because I don't think, for me, I would trust Kepa for the whole season. And maybe the manager, maybe Poch might do, but we all know Kepa's got a mistake in him as well. So for me, you need to give him some competition. And if we can't get another goalkeeper in, say we can't get a goalkeeper in, then I think getting rid of Mendy is not the answer personally. But at the same time, I can understand from people saying he's dropped form, he does probably need to move on and everything. I get that as well, but let's make sure we got a replacement coming in. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, thank you much. I appreciate that, DJ Constantin Dante. He doesn't like us to get into the goalkeeper talk. No one wants to buy his wages. I think he nearly joined Lazio and I think also Napoli last season. But his wages are it has always been an issue for us. And Mendy is our preferred choice, but wants the same wages as Kepa. So that's the conundrum. So I let Mendy just move on, go somewhere else where they pay him how much he's asking, and he'd also start enjoying his football again. Kepa is still at Chelsea because of the money. If he was on 50K a week, he would have left. Yes, then I'm going to keep saying this. Say what you like about any player in this world. It's money first before loyalty. I get it. Barcelona wanted Leo Messi back. Do I think he would have gone back with an offer, such offer from MLS, from Inter Miami, or from all the Saudis? No. And people are thinking he forfeited quite a lot of money, enjoyed MLS. No. The MLS one in the long run will be nearly twice as much of what he would have gotten had he gone to Saudi Arabia. So it's money first before loyalty, no matter how anybody sees it. So good point there. I know Mendy still still has 2 more years to go, but he needs to leave immediately. He doesn't need to waste time at Chelsea. I read somewhere that purchase planning now next season with Kepa. Yep, I've heard that before because we do not want to spend too much money on the goalkeeper. To me, if you ask me, I'd still say that's the list of the goalkeeping department is the list of my concerns. Do I think we can do better? Yeah, but if we have a better midfield that protects the defense very well, our goalkeepers will face less shots and we'll do even better. But that's, by the way, that's just my opinion. It doesn't feel a final, but goes on to show that the goalkeeper situation is not seen urgent. Mendy will leave. One of them, and most likely Mendy will leave. But let's move on from that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Arsenal have pulled out of the Caicedo deal. A lot of people are saying that. I didn't want this to happen. Messi was supposed to go back to Barcelona, but now at Inter Miami, it's all about money. Goalkeeping position should be our last priority, and that is, I think it should be, really. That's just my opinion. But Tonelli is on 35K a week. How good is that? It doesn't even play. It's about the money, and at this level, maybe no other club will give him more. He's enjoying it. Felix Johnson is reporting that Chelsea recently inquired about Randall Colomwani. Why is this taking so long when the player has already expressed interest in playing for Pochettino? The last time something I read last time with regards to that was him saying he needs to speak with the man. I'm not too sure about our interest on Moani. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 27 likes to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Let me see what else we have lined up here before we call it a day. 1, 2, 3 topics. Let's get to it. Just give me 1 second. I appreciate you all. 73 likes. That's not easy, but we can do better than that. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Sincerely do appreciate you all. Let's go. Okay, we have this one here, which says, let's see, what does that one say? Gareth Southgate and staff have been impressed with how Levi Colwill has integrated with the squad on and off the pitch. But I'm still going to bring back my argument, and I'm going to start with you, DJ. To me, everything I've read, the fact that Brighton did come with us with a beat one time, we rejected it in the preparing the second one. I've argued this. There's no way that Brighton will come to Chelsea with a beat. Wanted to sign him on a permanent. That he did okay. He was the one that told them to go try. Because he wants to stay. He wants to join them permanently. He wants to. He doesn't prefer coming back to Chelsea. That's how I see it. What do you make of the situation, DJ? Does he? To you, I think he wants to come back.
I don't know. Has he actually come out and says he doesn't want to come to? He doesn't want to come back to Chelsea. Has he actually come out? Is that a statement actually come out saying he doesn't want to come back to Chelsea? Was that
No,
just
but let
something
me ask you
you
this
made up?
question. Did you see his interaction on Twitter with, I think it
Yeah, I
was
saw that.
you saw
Yeah,
that? And you saw
yeah.
during the interview he totally forgot that he still plays, he's still
Yeah.
a Chelsea player. And do you read you watched you watched that, you saw the transcript of that interview where he says something to the effect of Brighton gave him chance when no one did. When no one did for me, he's referencing Chelsea. When no one did, and he likes to pay people back when they do such a search for him. To me, those things put together for me, it doesn't sound like he prefers coming back to Chelsea. I think he'd rather join Brighton on the permanent, and that's how I see it. But you go ahead with the point you were making.
No. Listen, I mean, look, if he said, I mean, obviously, if that is the case, I'll be gutted because obviously I wanted him to actually come back.
That's just my opinion. That's what I believe is the case. But go ahead.
I mean, obviously, for me, I want players to play for the football club and play for the badge. If the guy clearly doesn't want to play for the football club and he's actually saying what he said, and it was even though it was a tweet that he accidentally may have said and afterwards and probably regrets it afterwards, I don't know. And he's actually saying he wants to go, and you know, and Chelsea, but Chelsea want to keep him. Again, it comes down to a fight between the club and the player, who's going to win. Because from my understanding, isn't he not contracted to Chelsea until 2026? Right. So if he's contracted to Chelsea to 2026, for me, Chelsea got leeway on this one to tell him whether he can stay or whether he can go. And I know people talk about saying he doesn't want to be an unhappy player. Again, I keep thinking about this whole thing of, again, whether he'll be unhappy at Chelsea if he was to come back is another thing, because no one knows that situation. No one knows the body language of what a player is going to be like. Under Pochettino, he may decide to tell him, look, you're going to be my guy. You're going to be playing. He might be happy to play. But if he's unhappy and he wants to go, as we talked about Kai Havertz earlier on, if that is a case that he wants to leave and he wants to go, then I would say, yes, sell him on. But then again, it comes down to, Chelsea want that right price money for him. And I do believe, is it 40 million they've now willing to go to Brighton for him now? Is he worth 40 million? Could he be worth more? I don't know. But if he's not happy and he wants to go, then I'd say by all means, it comes down to the club if they want to do that. Because as I said, he's contracted to still 2026. So the club still have some leeway on him. But if they get a really good price for him, then I can probably see him leaving. But I'd be gutted to see him go, because I actually think he's a talent. And I think you'll see that again down the line. Him actually growing again, whatever team it goes to, because from my understanding is Brighton is not the only team that is interested in him. There's another team that's been interested in him and may even put a big offer down on him, and he may even change his mind about Brighton then and go to that team. So let's see what happens on that one. I'm hoping he'll still stay at Chelsea, but again, if he's not happy to stay at Chelsea, then by all means he'll have to go.
Yeah, Kowa said he wants it to be a starter with a significant minutes and nothing about wanting to be at Brighton. I'm not judging by this statement. This statement is actually nothing to me, but now you're making me, I'm going to factor this into my, suspicion, my decision to whether I think he wants to stay, if he wants to come back to Chelsea or remain at Brighton. This to me means he knows. I think it's all up to the manager to see whether he gets minutes, enough minutes that qualifies as a significant minutes, that or maybe amounts to a significant minutes. Nothing about wanting it to be at Brighton. No, you don't have to say that. Sometimes you don't have to say something. You use you can indirectly tell people you don't want them close to you. I don't know how it's a phrase to come across effectively, but you get my point. But that's, by the way, that doesn't mean, like DJ just explained, there's a chance he comes back. The manager will look at his body language, get him, convince him of place in the team, and convince him to put pen to paper and long-term contract. But that's, by the way, let me go ahead. It looks like you're ready to talk about this one already.
Yeah, you see, for me, whatever he says does not still stop the fact that he's still a Chelsea player. And all these vibes coming out from him, he has to report to preseason. He likes it or not. He's still our player. So the manager still has that chance to have a look at him. Whatever he says, I mean, Carragher, when he went on loan, he came back, he wanted to be a starter, we gave him the chance. We could all see what happened. It's not, he didn't live up to the expectation of the standard of Chelsea. So he could say whatever he likes. But for me, for him saying all this, he's just putting it in the minds of Chelsea to say, oh, if you don't regard me, there's a club here that I think I'm settled in and they want to have me. So it's just playing both ways to make sure, yes, you respect me for what I've done, You did not give me the chance. Someone gave me this chance, and I've taken this chance. So if you think I'm good enough for you, you have to factor me in into the picture going forward. So these are the normal things he has to say. But he remembers that he's still going to come back to the club for preseason. We're going to have a look at him. If the manager wants him to stay, then they sit down. Just as I said, it might be part of having him in their picture is why they're trying to get rid of Koulibaly. If the stories we're hearing are anything to go by. So if they're clearing for him, they have to sit him down and let him know, oh yeah, we recognize what you've done for yourself this past year. You've done very well. We want you in the club. We've seen you firsthand in preseason. You're doing very well. This is our plans for you. Then he can now sit down and talk about having the contract. But for me, what we're hearing about this lad is positive for us. So I think he should be in the picture of the club going forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eddie, for that insightful contribution. I appreciate that. Who's this player? Levi Colwill, a Chelsea Academy product. He was on loan. Was the club that lost in the playoff. Then he came back. We decided to send him on loan to Brighton, and he's done well there. But that's, by the way, Kishan, what do you make of the situation?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep Colwill and get Caicedo. And people,
just quickly, somebody asked who's this player, Levi Colwill. Never heard of him. And Constantine Dante, being the nicest man in the chat, he's our captain. The nicest guy in the chat. Go ahead with what you're saying, Kishan.
Yeah, I think Colwill will be a big part of our future. And if Brighton wants Gallagher, we can include Gallagher in a deal for Caicedo and not Colwill. So, yeah, I want to keep him on the roster. I want him to get minutes.
But being objective, do you see the possibility? Everything you've heard, does it sound like to you, if you're paying attention to everything, I talked about, his comments with regards to paying back with some people there, again, they gave him an opportunity when some didn't, and that some simply to me implies Chelsea. That's just me. Other things that has happened. Does it seem to you like he wants to come back to the club?
I think he just wants to go anywhere where he can play. I feel like I think he will come back if we just show him there's opportunities for him to get minutes here. So
we just need to show him the pathway, you think?
Yeah, if we show him the pathway, he would. Like, wow, is he gonna really choose Brighton over us? Like, if he has the opportunity
they have a European assignment. Where did they even finish on the table? I just don't remember. Go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I think they were they fifth? But yeah, so yeah, I think he'll come back if we just show him that there's an opening for him. If we show him that like we want him here, I think he would want to be here.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Colwill stays at Brighton, or Brighton will sell him to City in 2 years for 100 million. It doesn't matter. I think if the club's priority is to get Caicedo and Brighton is hell bent on keeping Colwill, we may well factor him into that deal, and then maybe add a buyback clause or something, or a selling clause. But the Schiller is injured. Colwill can start for Chelsea as first 8 matches, and maybe you don't know. It won't be a bad thing to have him if he does well. But the Schiller doesn't have to start. He can come back, and maybe someone else drops out. But the Schiller is so good that I think it'd be hard to be dropping him from that team. Colwill starts as Brighton. Let's see. Gallagher does play well in the midfield 3. Okay, well, let's keep the topics aligned, please. If Colwill wants to leave, he must go for top dollar. Brighton have scammed us enough. Yeah, it looks like we're cash cow for them. Brighton will be a bald chicken next season. Very strong players left. All of them, but they've always proven it to bring in good replacement for whoever leaves. And it doesn't actually. Then the next season they look as if they're even better. If Colwill is a short of minutes, he will stay. But do you do that if you are Pochettino? It's a risk. Coach, these kids need a headmaster with an iron fist. Poch starts on July 1st. I am sure he will come with a whip and things will start falling into place. Without the manager, kids start wandering around. I think Poches is a perfect manager, would be the perfect manager for Colwill, but he could argue the same. De Zerbi also is a perfect manager for him. He's helped him improve. I know he has the talent, but he's helped him improve. Colwill, which I've never heard or might stay at Brighton. Yeah, with all due respect, the current Chelsea management team or leadership, NX, nice to see you, and NS, are not serious. The way they are going about this transfer are very bad and unthinkable. They should price realistically. You need to hop on Kimso's boss. I don't know if Colwill could come back to Chelsea. To me, I just see. I'm not saying he's not going to come back. I'm just saying it just looks like he prefers to remain at Brighton than come back to Chelsea. Brighton finished 6th, so in the Europa League, that's not easy. So Colwill would want to experience that and not come back. But let's see. Hit the like button, people. 74 likes. It's 26 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. I appreciate you all. Colwill is playing smart. He did not say things to rubbish Chelsea or Brighton. He's not Mumu. I like that one. He was cautious with his words, but at the same time, he gave a lot away. At least to people like me who doesn't. I look beyond. The collect. You can say the collective words that define the sentence. I look at individual words, sometimes phrases, to come to sensible conclusion. To me, it's clear he prefers to remain at Brighton. Plus, they wouldn't come with a bid if he didn't okay it. The VAR! Yeah! Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding time to join us today. Brighton's first ever European football next season. Yep. Brighton will finish 12th next season, and Captain Colwill will be worth peanuts. Okay. Call it a hunch. Patrick, they finish second column next season. I think they will be better. Once you test European football, they'd have money to sign some good players. Hopefully, they don't overdo it. And I think they have a good management, really. They've done quite well. So we have to switch it to the next topic. Okay, Ty, your thoughts on Colwill. Do you think he wants to come back, or do you think he wants to remain at Brighton? Let's keep it short because we have 2 more topics, and I have to run as soon as possible to go make breakfast for the young Blues.
I don't think Levi Colwill's first thought is to come back to Chelsea. I think his first thought is perhaps stay at Brighton, where he can get more minutes under a manager that gave him an opportunity, as he said, gave him an opportunity. And like he said, De Zerbi is a man that can help him improve and has helped him to improve and gain confidence. I think the first thought is not to perhaps come back to Chelsea, and I don't think he should, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. That was a quick one from you. DJ, I don't know, have you spoken about Levi Colwill? Oh, I think you have.
Yeah,
I think all of us have. But thank you so much. It's been an excellent discussion. That depends on who Brighton gets in the Europa League. Well, give him a chance. I think De Zerbi is an excellent manager. Let's see what else we have. There you go. I knew this was going to come up, but AD, I appreciate you for all the updates. I like it. So I can't thank you enough. Chelsea midfielder Andre Santos is finalizing a work permit to play in the Premier League next season. Santos is expected to get clearance to play in England, having previously missed out on his visa by 1 point through the AFA's application system. He's played in the under-20 Donwell, and he's gotten a senior cap. I think 2. He's played twice with the senior team. I'm not sure. But this is some good news for us. I think he's such a talent, mature beyond his age, I believe. And I don't think we'll be signing too many midfielders. I think we'll sign 1 or 2, and we're going to keep them. So I like this. For me, I don't know if anybody on the panel wants to add something to that. Raheem Sterling had 1 year outstanding contract at Man City. We bought him at 45. Putting a price tag of 80 million a Mount is unrealistic, in my opinion. Mount is still young, very, very young. I think that's a huge difference. Brighton is not equipped to finish higher than mid-table Look at West Ham did this season, won the Europa Conference League, but came 14th in the Premier League. You are the wise one, but okay. Here's the thing. You can argue, there's a solid argument that a lot of the teams that made it into top 4 did so because the teams that are usually there, 2 of the teams maybe, Chelsea and Liverpool, that are usually there, are in a transition period. So that made it easier for those teams that made it into there. But here's one thing you have to be at the back of your mind. Teams that have not made it into top 4 includes Arsenal, includes Newcastle United. And Newcastle, they're not Brighton, they are one of the big boys now. They can spend. And boy, they are ahead of their project. Them not making it into top 4 next season will be very difficult. It is us making it into top 4 that will be very difficult, if that makes sense to you. I don't know if anybody on the panel wants to say anything with regards to the Andrea Santos news. I love that.
Yeah.
Again, I
yeah.
Go ahead. So,
Andrea Santos, well, it's good that he's gonna get a work permit, but I still don't think that he's ready. So you can keep him, or you can always that will leave the door open in a sense that you can load him to a Premier League club, and maybe he gets opportunity. But I don't think he's ready for Chelsea. I've seen his performances, and and he's young, so it's not surprising. But I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's going to be ready for a while as well.
Yeah, even if that's the case, here's the thing. More importantly, and I think you did say that too, he's getting a work permit to play in the Premier League. And I'm sure there will not be shortage of clubs wanting to take him on loan. If we decide he's not ready to play, to be part of our first team, I'm sure even Brighton wouldn't mind taking him on loan. Because Brighton, whenever they take player on loan, they take on, bearing in mind there's the possibility they convince the player to stay, but I don't think Santos will be one of those players. I think there's a chance he stays with the squad, but I don't know. But you make a good point. More importantly, he's getting the work permit to play in the Premier League. That doesn't mean that he comes back, boom, into the first team, but I think he get a chance in the preseason. But let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Andrea Santos deserves to play in the Premier League next season. There are teams, there won't be shortage of teams who are willing to take him on loan. Coach, you should know best. Being able to spend doesn't guarantee any club top 4. But here's the thing. They've proven they spend wisely. How much have they spent since the Saudis are was it the Saudis took over their club? They have the money, but they've spent very strategically. They're going to strengthen. That's my point. I know it's all about money, but they will strengthen. And they are way ahead of their project. At one point, actually, they were title contenders. They were that close.
Newcastle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think they're taking time.
They could have won the league still.
Yeah, you see that? Go ahead, Kishan. What did you say?
No, I was saying I think like they're going to take Tottenham's spot in that top 6 thing.
Oh, yeah. They will be
Definitely.
there. From now on, they're going to be there. It would take something special to get them not to be there. They have the money and they're signing some good players. Brighton will have a Leeds second season. I am not worried about them. Balance will be restored. Let's see. I hope so. Patrick, okay. Anybody else? Kishan, you want to speak about Andrea Santos while you are there before I go to Ed?
Oh, yeah.
And DJ.
Yeah, I think Santos is going to be here with the first team.
You think? You don't think he goes out on loan?
Nah. I think probably Caicedo and Carney will go on loan. I think
that'd be foolish.
Why is that?
Because it's not ready. That's why it's not ready. Says me.
Okay, that's your opinion. All right, but so I think he's gonna stay. I think him with Thiago Silva gonna be there to like be his mentor. I think you can't pass up on that opportunity for him to learn under someone like that. And I think he's able to be a quality rotational player here. And I've seen a lot of his games to back that up. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
So I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Go ahead, shoot it. He's listening.
So you've seen you've seen his playing style. You've seen the way he passes the ball. You see how deficient he is in terms of the defensive side as a midfielder.
Yeah.
And again, it depends on the role we're keeping him for, if we decide to keep him. But it's up to the manager. DJ, what do you make of this Andrew Santos news? Do you think he could go out alone, or do you think he'd be part of the first team?
No, listen, I'm so happy he's got his work permit. I'm in a bit of both halves in this one. I think he'll get a pre-season, personally, for me. I think Poch will get a chance to see what he can do in pre-season. If he and I think all of them will. Caicedo will get a chance in pre-season, and so will Chukwuemeka. And I think he'll take it from that decision to see which one will stay on. I really hope he can stay. I understand what Ty's saying. He may need a loan to get a bit more game time. But from what I've seen of him, and from what I've watched of him, and the goals that he scored, I mean, he is deadly in from midfield. He can score goals, so he's not only can he be a box-to-box midfielder, he scores goals as well. He can play that. He can also play that. He can also play the one who can break up play. I mean, I think he'll be handy to be in that team. I think him alongside Enzo. Is it too early? Maybe, possibly, but I think he could still do it. Like the guy said earlier, I forgot the gentleman's name in the comment. Said earlier on, is it Kesh? Is it Kesh? I think he said that he'd be worth Kesh. So, sorry, bro, Keisha. I think he'd be good as. I think he'd be good as a squad player for me in the team for next season. I would keep him around, but let's see what the club are going to do. I hope he can stay.
Okay, let's see what the club does. And Keishan, I've been pronouncing your name the wrong way, and you didn't say anything until I hear you say it.
No, it's Keishan.
Okay, Keishan, not Keishan. Okay. Yeah. Santos is a typical Yaya Toure type of midfielder. He will be a game changer for us. The bulldozer, I call him. Okay, let's see. Patrick, you are very, wow, very naive. Maybe Santos as a sub. 20 years at 20, I think he needs to play very often. Maybe alone would do him a lot of good. But let's see what the club does. 20 years after the last one in Newcastle playing UEFA Champions League, they would do good, but only get as far as the quarterfinals. That is just your opinion. Let me see what. Give me 1 second, guys. Right, this is Sanchez probably end up on loan. Let's see what happens. Sanchez only 5'11". Don't compare him to Yaya Toure. Chelsea may be naive, but I am serious. Let's see. I'm sure Colwill knows Chelsea is just passing through hard time, and he knows that we have greater chances of winning. He has greater chances of winning with us than Brighton. Wow, get this to 100 likes before the stream ends. We'll end it soon, so I don't think we get to 100. If it does, then it's magic, really. Patrick, just appreciate that. We will see in preseason how he does and how Poch rates him. It's as simple as that. He's the one to make the final decision. So, Eddie, your thoughts on this? What do you think happens? Do you think Andrew Santos goes out on loan, or do you think he'd be part of the first team? Eddie, I want to hear from you. Okay, it looks like Eddie isn't there right now. Eddie, are you there? Okay, it looks like Eddie is somewhere else. Anything else we have lined up here? This was Chelsea remain in contention for Declan Rice, having asked West Ham United to wait as they try to move players on before buying. This doesn't really make any sort of sense to me. Wait for you? I don't. Some reports I see, I just don't believe. And West Ham will wait for you, really. But that's, by the way, I think I have to. With that, we have to. We've come to the end of the show. People have to go take care of something quickly. We started 1 hour later than usual, so I have to go take care of my boys. Their mom lives in a bit, and I'm be the only one at home. My in-laws are not here, so I have to take care of them. Let's see what else we have. Personally, I'd like Santos in first team, but yeah, probably go out alone. Let's see what happens. AD is gone. Yeah, but that's fine. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you to DJ. Thank you to Tyrone from the Chelsea Sessions. Go check the description. You will see Ty's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I appreciate you all. And remember, we do give away for students every month. Either by the 15th, we'll do this month. That's 15th is actually today. Okay, let's say before the month ends, we'll do that of the month. Yep. Thank you, Chelsea. Thank you, Kim. So I appreciate you. Thank you, Constantine Dante. Patrick, thank you so much. Thank you, the Bluetooth again. Thank you to all of you. Kishona, I appreciate you. Hall, Matt, Trent TV, I appreciate you, brother. Match host at Trent TV. Why do I always find it difficult? And thank you to Annex. I appreciate you all. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Peace out, everyone.